into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Take a deep breath in. It is the start of a brand new week, a start of a brand new day here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And it's so good to welcome you into this Monday. My name is Jamie Lee Domberg.
And I'm Ryle de Mornay. Good morning, you beautiful souls coming through from a beautiful weekend. Jamie, it was Father's Day that we were celebrating, of course. I hope you guys had such a fantastic time celebrating, creating memories with your loved ones, of course, and any other father figures that you do have in your life. And we're rolling straight through from the magic into some more magic this morning. Jamie, what's happening today? It's a big one,
Listen,
yeah?
as you can see, the studio is colourful. It is bursting with colour because it's also Pride Month. June is Pride Month, and today we're celebrating all of that. No matter where you come from, we just want people to live proud, authentically, and be the true self. So we have amazing people coming your way today to share a bit about their journey with the LGBTQI plus community and just how they accepted their journey and just living their authentic self.
I know, I cannot wait for it, and I think it's such an important time. It's always an important time, but now more than ever, we need to celebrate us as individuals, as human beings, and be proud of that. No matter what culture, gender, race, inclination that you may have, you're a human being, and we love you. And we're going to prove that today and show everybody what it means to be proud and educate you if you are lacking that information.
I have a question for you, though. Are you even ready to learn some Vogue dance moves? Because it's all here, okay? We need it in the face.
All
we need
right.
it.
I'm ready for that Vogue. I did warm my hips up. I got some inserts for fitness later as well, so that's going to help us. But, man, the magic is going to continue. Jamie, I'm going to be seeing you a bit later, of course.
Yes, so, I am running off to head on to those news headlines. So you tell them what's happening on social media.
I will. We'll bid you a fed. We'll see you later. But, of course, guys, seeing that it is Pride Month, we want to chat to you and connect with you beautiful souls. And with so many individuals these days, either struggling to, transitioning into, or becoming themselves and their true, unique individual performances that they have within their lives. We're asking you today, who are those proud individuals in your life that you get to celebrate, that are living proudly? We want to hear about them. We want to hear a beautiful story, and we want to connect with you on our social media channels this morning. So come through on Instagram, come through on Facebook, come through on Twitter, come through on YouTube, because we are live. We're kicking your Monday off, and we cannot wait to get involved. It's see you soon. Let's find out what's happening up news with Jamie.
Thank you, Mr. de Mornay. We'll start with those national news first. Now, despite calls for schools to be shut following an increase in the number of infections countrywide, a decision to keep them open was made on Saturday at a meeting of the Council of Education Ministers. Now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga says that COVID-19 cases will be handled according to the differentiated risk adjustment strategy. Now, she has also urged all teachers to get vaccinated in order to stabilize schooling. The vaccine rollout will begin on Wednesday and run until school close on the 8th of July. And then Johannesburg's Mayor, Jeff Makubo, has tested positive for COVID-19, his office said yesterday. Now, he's gone into self-quarantine as part of the recovery process. Earlier, the Provincial Health Department said that 8,403 new infections had been recorded in Gauteng in the previous 24-hour cycle. Now, this accounts for 66% of new cases in the country. A total of 5,178 people are currently hospitalized in the province's public and private facilities. Moving to news further abroad, the 9-year-old Zimbabwean boy who was severely disfigured after a hyena attack has arrived in South Africa for reconstructive surgery. Rodwell Nkomazana was at a night church service when he was attacked. He lost one of his eyes, his nose, and parts of his mouth, forehead, and cheeks during the attack. Rodwell was flown to Johannesburg on Saturday and greeted by Sandton Mediclinic Hospital staff singing the South African national anthem. Now, plastic surgeons led by Dr. Ridwan Meyer, dental surgeons and pediatricians are now preparing to reconstruct his face using tissue from his body. The work will be done pro bono. An athlete who arrived in Japan for the Tokyo Olympics has tested positive for the coronavirus. This is the first infection in an overseas team. The athlete is a member of Uganda's Olympic team. Now, there is a growing concern among the Japanese public about the risks associated with hosting the games amid the coronavirus pandemic. However, the Japanese government has invested billions of dollars in the event and is still trying to find a middle ground so that the games can still take place. And then next, some exciting news from South Africa's Garden Province. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the highlight on the Durban entertainment calendar, Africa's greatest horse racing event, the famous Durban July, will take place this year. Now, eThekwini Municipality Mayor Mkolisi Kaunda officially launched the event on Saturday at the Eden Champagne Garden in Morningside, Durban. The mayor explained that before the pandemic, the Durban July generated more than 300 million rand towards the city's GDP from local and international visitors. He also said the city has made a huge investment, especially in youth mentoring programs in the fashion industry. Kaunda also acknowledged that through partnerships and collaborations with the private sector, the city had maintained its leading host title on the continent. He said they were ready to entertain visitors for the Durban July grand experience. He continued, and I quote, "We are very excited about this year's Durban July, but it's always a privilege to host Africa's greatest horse racing event. We have the best horses lined up, including Rainbow Bridge, winner of Cape Town's Met, and Hollywood Bet's Gold Challenge." Wow, some wonderful news for the world of entertainment. I guess it's safe to say we'll see you at the races, folks. On that note, that is where I'll leave your 6 a.m. news headlines. Here's Raul Demone with a first look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and what a weekend of sport it's been. We're kicking it off with the cricket first, and Rassie van der Duyson's 75 and a career-best score of 40 runs by Kagiso Rabada helped the Proteas recover from 73 for 7 to post a second innings total of 174, all out on day 3 of the second test against West Indies in St. Lucia. Now, the Windies, who need 309 runs to win, finished the day on 15 runs with no wickets taken, and all the action between the West Indies and South Africa will continue today at 4 p.m. And now moving over to rugby, where Italian club Benetton were crowned Rainbow Cup champions after defeating the Bulls 35-8 at the Stadio Comunale di Monigo on Saturday. Now, Benetton, led by South African Dioval Dumenacher, outplayed the men from Pretoria in Italy as they struggled with poor handling and a wayward kicking game. Now, Marcel Coetzee, who led the Bulls in the absence of injured Dwayne Vermeulen, said Benetton were deserved winners of the title. And now, sticking to rugby, it was a double heartbreak for the Bulls, who also suffered an opening round loss to Western Province in the Currie Cup. It was hooker JJ Coetzee who scored 4 tries to guide Western Province to a 48-24 win over the Bulls at Loftus Versfeld. And in other opening round results, the Sharks overcame windy conditions in Kimberley to beat the Griquas 30-16, and the Pumas started their campaign on a winning note after recording a 39-10 victory over the Lions in Nelspruit. Now, that's a wrap-up of the rugby. Moving over to soccer this morning, defending champions Portugal went to the Germany, and in their Group F Euro 2020 clash on Saturday, we had Cristiano Ronaldo, who gave Portugal a 15th-minute lead, but Germany went in at the break 2-1 up thanks to own goals from Ruben Diaz and Rafael Guerreiro. Now, the Germans added 2 more goals in the second half to register a memorable 4-2 win in Munich. Now, in other 2020 results, France and Hungary were held to a draw at 1-1, and England and Scotland played out to a goalless draw as well. Now, moving over to motorsport, where Red Bull's Max Verstappen took a brilliant race win at the French Grand Prix to extend his lead at the top of the drivers' standings. Now, the 23-year-old fought back to pass reigning Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton and record Red Bull's 3rd consecutive win. Mercedes Hamilton settled for 2nd, and Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez finishing on that podium in 3rd place. And sticking to motorsport, the king of the ring, Marc Marquez, is back to winning ways after claiming his first MotoGP race win since 2019. Now, this was the 8-time world champion's 11th straight victory at the Sachsenring and the German Grand Prix. And the Honda rider held off KTM's Miguel Oliveira in 2nd, and championship leader Fabio Quartararo, who rounded off the podium positions. And South African's Brad Binder, who started in 13th place, finished in 4th. Now, that's a roundup of all the exciting action of sport this weekend. Let's find out what's happening in the weather back with Jamie Lee Domberg.
Thank you so much, Ralph, for that sports update. Time to have a first look at the weather. But first, some news. Now, the June solstice, the signal to celebrate winter in the southern hemisphere, will happen today and tonight. Now, for us in the southern hemisphere, this solstice marks the longest night and shortest day of the year. Late dawns, short days, early sunsets, long nights. Sounds beautiful. Now, the sun will be at its lowest each day as it crosses the sky. This means that all locations south of the equator have days shorter than 12 hours and nights longer than 12 hours, and north of the equator, it's vice versa. Now, ancient cultures knew that the sun's path across the sky, the length of daylight, and the location of the sunrise and sunset all shifted in a regular way throughout the year. They built monuments such as Stonehenge to follow the sun's annual progress. Today, of course, we know that the solstice is an astronomical event caused by Earth's tilt on its axis and its motion in orbit around the sun, and that Earth's northern and southern hemispheres trade places in receiving the sun's light and warmth most directly. Now, of course, while we do enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning, we're reporting on the weather for the city of Lyon, the third largest city in the country of France. Now, the city is known for its historical and architectural landmarks and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lyon was historically known as an important area for the production and weaving of silk, and in modern times has developed a reputation as the capital of gastronomy in France. Orange warnings for thunderstorms have been issued for the area, and severe thunderstorm warning. Heavy rainfall may affect human activities. Extensive flooding is possible in the flood-prone areas on all the watersheds of the impacted departments. So please do stay indoors and off the roads where possible. Right now, bringing it back to our own shores, we received the following stunning sunrise submissions from our South African-based viewers. And kicking our Monday morning off, we have this beautiful pink, orange and yellow-filled sky received from Lemon Stacks LS from Pretoria. Pretoria can expect a sunny day ahead, reaching a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. And then heading to KZN, we received this serene morning view from Michael Mason from Durban North. Sunny conditions can be expected in Durban as well, with a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. Of course, if you would like to share your sunrise photo with us, just head on over to the Expresso Facebook page. Right now, let's have a first look at the temperatures for today. We start with you, Polokwane. Do expect a low of 4 today, peaking at 19. If you find yourself in Umbombela, expect a range of 9 to 24. Pretoria, for you, it is a low of 6 and a high of 19. Johannesburg ranges from 6 to 17. Mahikeng, 421. Klerksdorp, for you, it is a low of 2 and a high of 20. And then Kimberley coming through with a low of 5 and a high of 20. Bloemfontein, for you, it is -2, peaking at 20. Richards Bay ranges from 13 to 25 today, and then Pietermaritzburg with a low of 6 and a high of 26. If you do find yourself in South Africa's playground today, Durban, expect a minimum of 14 and a maximum of 25, and then for Mthatha, it is a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 26. East London, 18-28. Cradock, 6-24. Gqeberha, for you, it is 16-27, and then if you find yourself in George, do expect a minimum of 18, peaking at 27. The mother city, Cape Town, ranges from 15 to 24 today. Worcester, 13-26. Sutherland, 7-16, and then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 12 to 24. That is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Now, imagine the following. Imagine not understanding the words once upon a time. Now, with only 2% of children's books published in African languages, this is actually a sad reality for far too many. But imagine this, begin a story with Ngemizana Itile, and suddenly you've got the attention of millions of young minds. How awesome is that, Jamie?
I love that. And of course, if you translate just one word a day with Cadbury Dairy Milk, you could help co-author a children's library in different languages, okay?
Yeah.
So today's word is present.
Present? Is it
present?
Is
like
it
as a gift?
Like, okay, not
yes.
Today is the present, right?
No,
okay,
not like
okay,
that.
I got you.
We're asking you, of course, to tell us what this word is when translated into Venda, one of South Africa's 11 official languages. Present in Afrikaans
What is present in Afrikaans again?
Geskink.
Oh, wow. More
Skink.
saver Afrikaans, nee?
I took that out of the boonste rakke. So let us
that,
know what it
okay.
is in Venda.
All right, so of course you guys can join the Cadbury Dairy Milk and translate a word a day to co-author a children's library. That's exactly what we're doing with this incredible cause, and every step to the story which ends Ngenjabulanjola or Jalo. You guys need to help me out because clearly I need to work on my African languages. But you can visit cadbury.co.za to create storybooks and use that hashtag in our own words.
Only you can make my day.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Breathe with me, you beautiful souls. It's Monday. We're doing things fast-paced, of course. I've just gotten changed because we're doing all things sport and fitness right now. And we're talking about the second test between the West Indies and South Africa, which continued in St. Lucia, where the Bulls suffered 2 losses in different parts of the world. And both the men's and women's Western Province teams recorded empathic wins in their respective competitions. Now, of course, the main man himself, Jeremy Harris, is here to give us all we need when it comes to the weekend sport. Jeremy?
I'm a bit overdressed, I think. I can go quickly. I'll just get some like, nice little shorts and something. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
No, but you got me in the feels, man. You got me excited. Obviously,
Let's
the
do
weekend
it.
was jam-packed. There's so much magic. Let's start off with our local boys up in the West Indies playing cricket.
Yeah.
Doing some good things by the look of it, eh? What are you thinking?
Look, I mean, I think that they won that first test in such dominant fashion by an innings and 163 runs. That's making a statement. They're trying to do the same thing in the second test. I can't see it going any other way but in the way of the Proteas. And I think that what they were doing in the second innings, even though they went for 174, firstly, difficult to score runs.
Yeah.
That track isn't batting friendly, and they were really pushing to get a score on the board. Now the Windies have to chase something over 300 for the win, and it's going to be a tough assignment against that Proteas bowling attack.
It's good to see the test run score going into the 300s these days.
Yes,
Back in
thank
my day,
goodness.
that was the norm. And then obviously the bowling skills came through, obviously evened out the score. But it seems like, especially when you talk about the West Indies, big sloggers love to hit some. Looking forward to an exciting chase down. I mean, it's a 309-run total, I believe.
Exactly. There we go. It's a
Sitting
big,
on
it's a big
15
number.
at the moment, no wickets in hand, so it's going to be a big slog to get back there, yeah?
Yeah, no, I don't fancy their chances, but I mean, let's see.
All right, and now, I mean, we chatted about a double blow for the Bulls. I mean, we talk about the first competition they had, which was quite a big one, the Rainbow Cup.
Yeah.
Not going according to plan, you'd say, and not a great performance, but again, it didn't look like the stalwarts of the Bulls were there in the team. I mean, where were the iconic figures?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, you're spot on. Exactly what happened was the Bulls had a strong team, a strong squad that got them through to the final of the Rainbow Cup. Then a lot of the players were withdrawn to obviously go to Springbok camp and to be on Springbok duty. And that's where they are. They're probably sitting there crying because they were watching that game going, Well, if we had been there, maybe this result would have been
This
different.
is my thing. I mean, the feeling of the players vesting all that time to get to that point and just missing out on the opportunity to put the cherry on the top.
Yeah,
But
no, very disappointing for them.
At the same time, I mean, getting a call up from the Springboks is not a bad thing. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining in that sense. And again, it gives the opportunity for the youngsters to come through. So some international experience there on top of that, maybe?
Absolutely. Plus, of course, they were playing against one of their good mates, Dewald Dievenage.
Oh, yes,
he
of
captains,
course.
He
Yes.
captains Benetton, so he would have had a bit of a smile at his face.
I'm sure some chaffing and some chirping after that match for sure with the locals. And then again, moving over to the Currie Cup, where the Bulls also didn't experience the greatest result. I mean, going up against a formidable Western Province force, it looks like this season. What you're making on that one?
Yeah, no, look, I must admit that when I looked at it just on paper, and you never win a game on paper, you win it on the field. But I mean, when I looked at it on paper, I thought, Province should take this one, and they did. Very comfortable 48-24 win. And it was just the inexperience. It was the inexperience of that very young Bull side. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. You can't send a boy to do a man's work sometimes, and in this case, that came out to be the case.
Yeah, and other results there. I mean, Griquas versus the Sharks, an impressive result. I don't know what you made of that one.
No, look, I fancied the Griquas chances, but I mean, well done to the Sharks. But for me, the big result was that win for the Pumas over the Lions.
Yeah.
Got to say, I didn't fancy that. I didn't think that would happen.
Didn't see that one coming.
Didn't see it coming, but well done to them.
But again, I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, the effects and the impacts of COVID-19 goes bigger than what we think. I mean, Lions are a formidable force. They're supposed to be up there all the time, but yet you get the young guns coming through. I'm loving this. I love the fact when we can get the underdogs to do something magic.
Exactly.
But Jeremy, we've got so much more to talk about. Lastly, I want to chat about the Women's Premier Division, though, before we round this section up. Some incredible results again. I've been hearing such good things about the Province ladies. Has that continued this weekend?
Absolutely. They went 10-0 down in their game against it was Boland.
Yeah.
And then Province won 56-10. So, I mean, really, it was like a case of like, oh, sorry, we forgot we've got to score points. And then they came 1, 2, 3, and the points were there, 56-10. And they don't look like they're going to fall off their plan of attack. And they're staying very much on track. It's 7 wins now in a row for Province.
Oh, it's looking good. And then EP Queens up against the Sharks in that match. What was your highlights for that one?
Look, I mean, I enjoy the fact that we're getting a lot of these games now being broadcast. For me, what I like to see is the fact that you're seeing women's sport. Doesn't matter whether it's rugby or cricket or whatever it is. I like the fact that it's being brought into our homes now for us to be able to identify new heroes, and that's what I'm really enjoying.
Okay, now, and then the last one of the day, of course, was the Bulls up against the Border Ladies. An interesting match, nonetheless.
Always a good result, and always a good matchup. You've got some strong individual players in that team, or in both those teams. And I mean, it was an entertaining game of rugby. But for me, if you had to ask me where was my highlight, no bias, but it would have to be that Province encounter.
Doing some incredible things, and I think just for rugby in general, Jamie, to see our women, what they're doing, I think it's going to be an exciting year ahead. Proper foundations being laid here.
Exactly.
Of course, we've got so much more sport to chat about later in the show. We've got a jam-packed weekend to unpack, which I'm going to be chatting to you a little bit later. But I need to go around off. I've got some fitness to do with Mike, right?
Off you go. I'm going to do my fitness.
I'll see you later. Cheers. All right. So, here we are. Each new day, of course, is an opportunity to improve yourself. You can see Monday, we're taking all that we can and making the most of it, and we're making the most of these words. Now, I live by them, and they apply to all different areas of life, from our career goals to our fitness goals. Now, this means the following. Becoming a lifeguard is no picnic on the beach. The application process, it's rigorous. It requires extensive training, but spending sunny days keeping our beaches safe makes it so much worth it in the end. And trust me, I know I'm a lifeguard. Now, this morning I'm chatting through what, in my opinion, and this is very personal, is the most difficult workout a lifeguard does on a regular basis. Now, this one is a little bit unfamiliar to many. If you are a lifeguard, you would know it. It's called the patient drag, and I'm going to be demonstrating this with my fellow co-worker, Mike, right in the building. Mikey, it's good to have you, man.
Thanks, Raul. I'm ready. I didn't know I was actually doing fitness today.
I see so, but I love your style today. It works, man.
Thanks.
It's full of color. It works for the theme of the show as well, so we're being proud here. And I want to talk about something which I think is so underutilized, and that's the rescue operation when it comes to lifeguards. So an exercise that we do, I'm going to show you at home in Mzansi first, and then we're going to put it into practicality and actually show you how we use this. So what we're going to be doing is a patient drag, and Mike, you can join me for this one because this is an exercise component. We'll do the live demo straight after this. I love this because we're going to be working both elements so specifically when it comes to the drag and putting our patient into recovery position. And it's the movement that we have after rescuing a patient from the water and bringing them down to the ground. So for this one, the exercise for the motion is so simple. All we're doing is, with the weight in front of us, we basically got an isometric hold on our bicep. We're literally going to twist over to the right-hand side, lunge down with your leg, and then literally stand back up into that restart, and then repeat that straight over to the other side. All right. So we're using the legs, we're using the upper body, and we're using the core, and we're creating an exercise out of this. And just 3 sets, 12 reps in total, is literally going to give you a workout. But why do we do this, Mike? Let me show you why. And I've obviously sanitized, I've obviously cleansed, just to make sure that everything else and you is protected.
You want some more?
Yeah, give me some more, man, of course. Why not? Thank you very much, sir. Good form. So let me put the kettlebells away and show you an example. Essentially, me as the lifeguard in this situation and you as the patient, you would potentially be in the water. You might have drowned. You might have consumed water. You might have gotten a spinal injury. It's important once I swim you to the shore that I need to pick you up now. I need to get you out of the hazardous zone, out of the water. This requires some strength, right? So I'm going to demonstrate the patient drag and then put you into the recovery position. Mike and I have never done this before. You just need to be a patient, all right? So what I'm going to do is, I've gotten you out the water, you've got my torpedo boy, and now I'm going to support your weight. I need to protect your spine as well, right? It's important in case of someone having an injury in the water, the spine needs to be protected, all right? So let me just put my mic up here so you don't squash it. I'm supporting Mike's weight. I'm supporting his spine with my left hand, and his weight is resting on my hips. I'm dragging him away from the water, away from the water. Now I need to safely put him down, all right? Notice, still got a neutral spine. I take a big lunge, just like we did in that exercise. Big lunge, supporting his weight all the way down. Still supporting the spinal cord, safely bringing him down to the ground. Now I'm going to use his arm to support his neck. Notice, still supporting that spinal column. Now, putting his hand on his head just to support him, making sure that spine's still secure, resting him all the way down to the ground. And now Mike is in a safe recovery position. I haven't damaged his spine or anything. Putting him up in that position just to let the blood flow securely. Now I have the option as a lifeguard to check his airway and his breathing. I would, obviously with my mask and gloves on, check inside his mouth if there's any obstacles or obstructions, be able to clear that airway. Able to then move over to the next phase of what might potentially be CPR. That means compressions and the rest. So I might administer breathing, check out obstacles, and potentially administer CPR in this position. But for today, we've saved Mike. He's safe, he's secure, he's in the recovery position.
Thanks, bro.
Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, fine.
So Mike's in that recovery position, of course, and this is a brilliant way for him to essentially. Ooh, let me just fix my mic there. Mike, you're just destroying my mic here. So I'm needing to fix my mic. This one, not that one over there, so you guys can hear me. But this is the recovery position that we leave the patient in after ensuring that his spine hasn't been compromised in the rescue position. And at the same time, he can easily breathe without having a lot of pressure on his lungs. So although he is sideways, he's not using a lot of energy to stand up. His blood pressure may have been low in that event. So we're allowing him to effectively recover, making sure that we phone someone for help. That is very, very important. But Mike, I think our work here is done. You've been saved. And if you want to be a lifeguard at home, of course, grab a kettlebell, grab a weight, and you can join Mike and I for an awesome workout like we just did with these kettlebells. How are you feeling?
Fantastic.
Looking good, you're looking alive again. And of course, every day a lifeguard goes to work, they effectively make an impact. Their very existence promotes safety, and their job makes the world a better and safer place. So you can tune in on Friday, because we've got an absolutely exciting show. We're catching up with the DHL Clifton lifeguards to find out more about life-saving, what it entails, and what we can expect in the future from these incredible heroes. Good work, Mike.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's Monday. We are live and we are giving you every reason to kickstart your week. Now, Jenny Morris is here to show us how to make her favorite winter salad. Of course, the winter blues are here and we got the perfect solution for it. It's called a nutty apple and bacon salad. Now, the near blandness of the beans, the sweet crunchiness of the apples and the nuttiness of the walnuts and those earthy notes coming through of the salty bacon, sweet and slightly sharp tang of the mustard dressing. Peeps, this is a salad worth making. Jenny Morris, you can only be the one that makes this come to life, of course, with all those beautiful, tantalizing words.
I need CPR. There's my half-naked chef.
We're going to go for round two. I'm going to switch Mike out. But what do we do here? Because Mike, he put me through some work there. He wasn't the most, the pleasant patient, let's say
Really?
that. He
I'm
was making
very
me work.
pleasant.
All right, well, maybe we can trade.
I might be heavier than him, but I'm very pleasant. No, this is one of my favorite winter salads, and let me tell you why. It's apple season now, and actually normally I would use a pink lady apple, but they're not available all year round because, you know, they kind of lie in the sun and get ripe.
Basking in the ambience.
I love it. But you can get Granny Smith the whole year round. So they're nice and tart. They've got a nice little bit of sweetness. We've got beans, like you say, they're bland, but they are delicious. And nuts is a nice protein. This is such a healthy salad because it'll just keep you going all day.
I'm seeing that. I mean, even in the beans, you get some good plant protein. You're getting plant protein from your nuts, good oils.
Absolutely.
As well for the joints. We've got our greens and our fiber for digestion.
Absolutely.
We've got protein and some potential collagen or animal fats coming from the bacon. And then we've got some good carbs coming from the raisins. So.
And this, darling, is the best fat-fighting vegetable on earth because it takes like 1,000,000 years to digest.
It does,
and all those calories getting burnt
it's
up.
something like, weirdly enough, there's this thing like popcorn or negative coals. You use more energy to bite, consume, and digest it than the actual caloric content itself.
So these are worthwhile foods.
Yeah, you just eat it all day.
We're talking about dressing, undressing. Oh, my goodness gracious, this girl needs CPR, baby. All right, so you're going to dress this baby.
Am I dressing or undressing this one?
Well, I'll undress it, you can dress it. Okay, so in here we've got some beautiful, we've got the lovely saltiness of the feta.
Feta, all right,
garlic,
we've got feta. Let me check that. Are we chucking it all in the blender?
Oh, yes, darling.
All right, let me pop that in while you talk.
Clap it all in, yes.
Feta,
yogurt.
Yogurt, this is plain yogurt?
This is plain,
Ooh,
natural.
yes, some bifido cultures in there.
Yes, absolutely. And they're live cultures, like you said.
Yes, some
mustard, some olive oil. And we've got maple syrup. We're not going to use honey, we're using maple syrup.
What's the reason for that?
Well, darling, it is so delicious. It's got a completely different flavour. And, you know, maple gets tapped. So it's like rubber. What can I say, girls? In you go.
Let me just put the ingredients in here.
And then you give it a good old whiz.
All right, what consistency am I looking for in this? Is it chunky, smooth?
It's a nice coating consistency.
Coating consistency, all right.
So I'm going to literally just take these beans and go through them nice and rough and umbeskof.
Rough and umbeskof, just like the noise you're about to hear.
Yes, go for it.
It's Monday!
It's Monday indeed.
All right, so it looks like I've got some... Yeah, this thing always works like an absolute charm.
Delicious.
Less than like 10 seconds, and look at that.
Done and dusted.
Smooth consistency.
There we go. So now what I want to do is every layer needs to have a little bit of dressing. The nuts, just toast your nuts. I'm going to give you a nut.
Ooh, like
just
a
try that.
roasty,
because it brings
toasty.
all those natural, gorgeous oils to the fore. And
there is nothing but goodness in here.
nothing but nuts.
Nothing but goodness.
But nuts. It's delicious. And then your bacon. If you're not a bacon eater, you could use smoked chicken in this. Give me your spoon, my love.
There we go. That's a
And
spoon
the
for
apple.
you.
Now I want you to slice through this apple for me. Let me do it, actually. You want it hunky and chunky, or would you like it thinly sliced?
You can decide that one.
Oh, I have it hunky and chunky. Okay, I'm going to just literally just take nice big bites of apple. Like this, and just layer it. Take out the seeds. You know that there's a lot of arsenic in that seed.
Really?
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to have to eat 1,000 million seeds to challenge it. But the thing is, if you've got animals, just be careful.
That's a good
especially
point.
your
Thank you for that.
birds. You know,
Yeah, my little new puppy. I need to protect him.
Oh my, what's your puppy's name?
Harkin the Husky.
Harken, oh God, huskies talk, eh?
Harken means red in Gaelic, so it's and he's got a little bit of a ginger tinge, so it's
Does he?
It's like fate.
Does he talk? Is he a screamer?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have the greatest upbringing until we adopted him. He was unfortunately.
Now you've gone up in my estimation.
Thank you.
I love you, no, because you need to adopt. Adoption is so important.
Protecting our animals, and with your tips as well from the apples, we continue to do so.
And my dogs love apples. Dogs can eat
Really?
apples apparently, but don't give them the seeds.
Okay.
Look at this, Dola.
Oh, that looks good.
And then what we do is we just toss the whole lot together, which I'm going to let you do because I feel I need to feed you.
You do, please bring it on. I'm working hard today. It's Monday.
All right, so...
But this looks absolutely
beautiful?
magic. Jenny Morris, I'm just going to talk to the people right now because if you've just tuned in now, then shame on you. But don't worry, we got you covered because we're making something special. It's perfect for winter. You can get it on expressoshow.com, this recipe inspiration. It's a beautiful, colorful salad that has come to life, somewhat of a rainbow, somewhat of all the macro balances that you need when it comes to protein, fat, and carbs. And Jenny Morris has just shown us how it's done in less than 5 minutes. Look at that.
Let's just
Proof in the pudding? Can we find out?
Yeah, go for it. And,
All right,
and
let's
try
do this.
Pink Lady.
A pink lady. I've got to get a little pink lady apple. Where's she hiding at the bottom here? So I cannot take a TV bite. I do apologize.
You're having the granny.
So I'm not going to be able to say anything because this looks like a massive chunk. So it's going to be a massive thumbs up for a good and
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's find out.
Is she good? You too. I'll talk down. You don't go like this to me because I will pinch you. Yes. He agrees. It's healthy.
I certainly have so much FOMO because I'm clearly not being fed by Jenny Morris this morning, but now it's time for you guys to have FOMO in the kitchen because you know that what we don't do on the show is do anything basic. So it's all about elevating your look. And today, I'm loving the colors that Robin, our stylist, has sourced for me and looking beautiful, loving the camel vibes. But we need just something. We need something to elevate and make sure it goes to the next level. And we have these beautiful, stylish combat boots. Now, these boots were made for walking and that is exactly what it's going to do. But it's also going to help me, you know, just make my look effortless for this Monday. So these boots are really the way forward for winter. It's fashionable, it is comfortable, and I'm really loving the chunky heel because, you know, we spend so many hours on your feet, and so you need something that's really going to help you look chic and cute, but still, you know, go with the wardrobe. So this is exactly what I'm going to do with this look today. So I'm going to put these on and make sure that I spend the rest of the show in them. And of course, if you want to elevate your look and you want anything that is for comfort or just for fashion, you can shop any of these looks, these combat boots, and you can shop that in store, online, or on the Hawes app. And don't forget that I am your plug, everybody.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, welcome back, beautiful souls. Welcome to Monday, where we're opening up on S3 and we're continuing with our sport and weekend review, where sports anchor Jeremy Harris is still with us, and we're chatting all about the highs and the lows of the Euro 2021. And of course, we're taking a look at what happened in the world of motorsport as Red Bull continued their dominance in the F1. And last but not least, the king of the Sachsenring, Marc Marquez, won in Germany. Jeremy, what a weekend of sport it's been. Where do we even begin, man? I'm going to give you the pick. Where do you want to start with this one?
Let's do Euros.
All right.
I'm happy with that.
Lots of fun, lots of action, of course, seeing some of these players back in the ring, back in that court, back in the field, of course. So many highlights for me. Any standout games that you'd like to mention? I mean, I happened to watch quite a few of them.
Yeah, no, look, I like the Germany game against Portugal 4-2.
Can I just say, I was so much fanning out for Portugal. Why? Because my man Diego Jota, obviously from Liverpool, playing on the wing with Ronaldo. I saw some magic happening there, man. Obviously, after their first goal as well, I was like, hey, the lads are starting to believe here. This is possible, considering the force that Germany has been for all these years. Yeah. I mean, quite impressive to start that game off, but not the best end result.
Not the best end result. And I got to tell you, I thought a well-deserved win for Germany, complete neutral from my side, just looking at it and going, two teams that a lot of the players know each other. They've played, as you say, in club football
There's
together.
Rapport there for
they
sure.
know
Yeah,
each
a lot
other.
of chirping.
So they know each other's games. But wow, Germany came into that needing to win, and they won. Yeah. They won, and they made a statement at the same time.
I think especially considering the fact that you can come back from any deficit to take a win, that always is just an extra tick on the box for this team. And I think they're going to take this momentum into the quarters, the semis, and potentially the finals too. So
wow, okay.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, they've got the brand behind them. Another interesting one, which I thought didn't play out the way we would have loved, England and Scotland. I was expecting more from that.
Disappointing from England. I got to tell you, they should have walked that one. So many opportunities, but it was like when they got in front of poles and they needed to do maybe one or two last things to
just that final finish, and the touch wasn't there on the day.
Completely went blank.
Yeah, man, it's like, lost the plot, and I was expecting a little bit more from Harry Kane as well. Obviously, his immense experience should have come through.
He came in for such a bit of criticism after that game. Poorly rated performance from the local media, but they're always harsh on their team.
I think there's a lot of pressure on England, especially when they're coming through on those results. And when you look at the local season that they have, you'd expect that to kind of just carry on into these bigger leagues. Another one which I was quite interested in, Spain and Poland. Supposed to be a walkthrough for Spain, right? But hey, the names are missing in this year's team, I've got to be honest, and a lot of chances that, in my opinion, just went wasted. I mean, look at Moreno, Gerrard as well, with a few sitting in front of the poles. What's happening in the
that was also disappointing. Very disappointing result. Again, I gave it to Spain before the game started. And I think Spain were going, fine, we'll take this point at the end of the 90. It was a disappointing performance. They would have had a bit of a hairdryer treatment after that game from their coach because that was poor.
And I mean, especially for the crowd as well. I mean, Spain, prestigious team coming through here. When I watched the game, Jeremy, a lot of the time they were making it into the end zone. They were getting out just outside the box or inside. But the likes of the strikers, which relatively new, although Moreno has some experience now, I mean, playing in the La Liga, I would have imagined him to finish when it comes to that final third, that final quarter of the game. But it's not just happening, and it's a pity because this is an opportunity for these guys to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, my thinking is, you know, a lot of these guys have played a lot of club football this year. I don't know how much time, real time, the teams have spent together as a national squad. And so, all good and well, you've got the skill, you've played the football, you've put in the hours, but as a squad, you've also got to spend time together. And I wonder how much real time they've spent together, maybe as a result of COVID, maybe as a result of other commitments. But it did look like they were meeting each other for the very first time. You're like,
Yeah, before we move on to Jeremy, I've got to just make mention of one thing. I happened to watch, I think it was the Hungary and France game.
Yeah.
COVID's gone. Did you see the stadium? No masks. The stadium's almost full. It's absolutely incredible. It looks like some nations are really doing well when it comes to sport, and they are back live. It was incredible to see the fierce and the fire was there. But we've got to move on. Some more magic, of course. Motorsport, F1. What a race.
Wow.
From a one-stop to a two-stop, team strategy.
4 races like this, and they're going to be doing just that. They're going to take that championship,
And I mean, that race, especially, we were just watching some of those visuals. From the start, it was just pure action, craziness. There was even talk of some rain coming in. Maybe they're going to have to go to the soft tires, who knows?
So surely he's not a contender. Well, let me never say that again. Because, I mean, he rode, one of the best races I'd seen. And he showed the guys guys who have been there. I mean, he's recovering from a double break to his arm.
With absolutely no fear.
No
Who does
problem.
that?
There he was. I mean, he's certainly made a name for himself again. I mean, if there was ever any doubt, and I think that the guys who are there and have been there are going, gosh, I think he's back.
Snap.
I think we need to watch out for him
We've
now.
got to you again.
Yeah.
Jeremy, it's always a pleasure chatting to you about all the magic that happened this weekend, and what a weekend it was. Looking forward to the rest of it, but man, enjoy your weekend. And
Thank you, brother.
For the magic, right?
Thank you.
We got some more things for you to watch right now, but in a little bit of a different genre. Let's check it out.
And of course, I'm here to rub it in, because for those of you who didn't make it to New Metro on Saturday for the much-anticipated release of Fast and the Furious 9, I mean, what exactly are you waiting for? Dom Toretto has been living the quiet life off the grid for quite some time with Letty and his son, but they know danger always lurks. And this time, the threat is forcing Dom to confront the sins of his past to save those he loves most. And his crew come together to stop a world-shattering plot by the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered.
There's a war coming.
Sam's brother.
This spy game, this is my world.
Get the break for me, would you, Tony?
Dominic Toretto.
The drama. We have signed up for it. Raul Demone, come in here. Fast and Furious 9. How insane, right?
I'm telling you now, any Fast mechanical Fundu fan is going to love this. This is what we wanted. I mean, this is what we've asked for.
I've been rewatching reruns last week just for myself, just to get that like vibe again. That
You just want to see everybody like, yo, it's Dominique.
Dom Toretto. And Cardi B in that, oh, everybody. Of course, this action-packed adventure is also showing in New Metro's larger-than-life Extreme Theatres nationwide. And to upgrade your cinema experience with some of SA's largest cinema screens, you got the 4K Ultra HD laser projection and Dolby Atmos sound. It's just going to be electrifying.
It is, and the excitement isn't over yet, because New Metro are giving you the chance to win a set of double Extreme movie tickets for F9, plus 2 regular sodas and popcorns every day on the Expresso show this week. Now, all you got to do is reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page and tell us how much of a Fast and a Furious fan are you. And don't forget to include that hashtag Expresso New Metro. And today's competition closes at midday today. Your T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
And we also know that New Metro cinemas are now open 7 days a week with all the required COVID-19 precautions in place to make sure that you are safe. And to book your tickets for Fast and the Furious 9, you can visit newmetro.co.za or call 0861 Cinema. We only have one thing left to say. See you at the movies. Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Now, if you didn't know, today is International Day of Yoga, which has been celebrated annually since 2015, so 16 years of yoga. Now, with yoga gaining a particular significance during the COVID-19 pandemic as a means to stay healthy and also to fight isolation and depression, it's a great way to gain physical strength, mental resilience, and relaxation through meditation. And that's why we're sharing the following words from spiritual teacher Craig Hamilton. And he once had this to say: true meditation is about being fully present with everything that is, including discomfort and also challenges. It is not an escape from life. And we are taking those words to practice today because we have Roxy Barton, our favorite fitness yoga guru, in studio right now to take us through a workout for this Monday.
Yes, you heard it, of course. We've got a special guest in the studio. I've been so excited for this one. It's been a killer Monday and a crazy Monday, of course. With any Monday, we need to unwind. We need to take a moment to reflect, a moment to breathe and enjoy all the blessings that we do have. And here to show us how it's done is, of course, this beautiful woman. But every year on the 21st of June, International Yoga Day is celebrated in more than 150 countries. In the view of the global coronavirus, the 2021 theme is Yoga for Well-Being. Now, this day aims to highlight the importance of the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of yoga, and at the same time aims to help people lead a healthier lifestyle. I can't wait for this, Roxy. You've come at the perfect time. Please enlighten me and the rest of Mzansi as we go through something special. What are we doing this morning?
Super. So we're going to run through a traditional sun salutation today, which, I mean, it is International Yoga Day, so why not, right? Cool. So let's start on the front of our mat.
Before we continue, is there anything that I actually need when it comes to yoga? Like, do I need equipment, preparation?
No, the lovely thing is you need your mat and yourself, right?
All right, so Mzansi, you got no excuse. You heard Roxy. You got to join us. Get involved.
And only this space. You don't need more space than this.
Beautiful. All right,
really
let's
fabulous.
take it away.
Great. So let's step to the front.
Okay.
Perfect. So we'll take a moment to check in. So we're going to close the eyes, relax the shoulders, and just catch your breath. So what's lovely about yoga is, you know, our lives are so busy. We're on our phones. We're always looking into we're always looking into the external world, and now we get to look in. So maybe just check, how do you feel? How's your stomach? How can you relax a little bit more? Great. Once we've taken this little moment and taken a few breaths, we'll open the eyes. Then we'll find our first posture, which is mountain pose. So you're in the right position right now. Tuck the tailbone, grow nice and tall. Suck in the belly. Bring the palms to face forward. Great. So we're going to inhale. With every movement, there's a breath. Bring your arms overhead.
Inhaling on this one, right?
Nice. Inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees slightly, and we're going to pivot from the hips, coming down nice and slow with a straight spine. Great, beautiful posture. This is your exhale breath. Inhale, we're going to find a halfway lift, so straighten out the spine. Beautiful, there we go. Slight tuck of the chin. And exhale, release your forehead down. Great, let's do one more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we're going to plant our hands down. You're nice and fit, so I'm going to level this up a little bit. Find a high plank for a Monday morning.
All right, working the core.
Great.
Waking up.
Build that internal heat. Tone those muscles. Great. Stay breathing here. Stay focused. This is a great way to build concentration for the day.
And I just noticed, Roxy, on this alone, although we are getting into such a good center, there's such good core stimulation. My scap, my shoulders are being set.
Right.
There's a brilliant stimulus on the muscles and the rest of the fascia as well. So I'm loving this.
Remember, strong stomach supports a strong back, so you really got to keep your stomach core strong for your back.
We have so many people that have back issues, and I think that's such a good point. The core can so much support that, so loving this.
Great, so we're going to come down for Chaturanga Dandasana. So you're going to draw your elbows in nice and tight. Come down for a half push-up down. Great, beautiful posture, nice and slow. Inhale, we're going to slide forward, stretching out those back muscles. Feel that. This is a lovely counter posture for desk work. And on your exhale, bend the knees and find a downward facing dog. So elevate the hips, press through the hands so you're straightening out your spine. So you're getting a beautiful stretch here.
Oh, wow. My posterior chain is so tight. This is incredible. Oh, I'm feeling it all the way down to my calves even. Is that correct?
Yeah. If you want to bend your knees, you can slightly. Great. Let's take 2 breaths together. On the inhale, we're going to lift onto our tippy toes, fill the belly. Out the mouth, exhale. Calming the nervous system. Inhale. Exhale, don't be shy.
Roxy, I've got to ask you, is it normal to be shaking like this? Because you seem to be quite chilled in this position. Would me and Mzansi be struggling in this position potentially?
So eventually you're going to get comfortable. This is going to be a resting posture as you go through the yoga flow. We're going to tiptoe to the front of the mat. Great. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift. Exhale, release your forehead down. Great, we'll meet where we started. Inhale, arms up, look up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Sun salutation.
Wow.
So sometimes you can do about 108 of these.
Was that one?
That was one.
Wow. Well, just on that one alone, literally waking my body up, especially in the downward dog position, I found the entire posterior chain, tight glutes, tight calves. I think for a lot of us, desk jobs, sitting all day, this is a brilliant way to just wake up the body. And for Monday,
absolutely.
What more could we fill our cup up with than this magic? Roxy, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Would you recommend continuing these movements for a certain period of time, or certain reps?
I mean, you can adjust it, so you don't have to hold the plank. Starting maybe on your knees, and you can kind of.
Why don't we show Mzansi that? Because I know a lot of guys here would love to. A lot of guys would love to get involved in yoga. They know about the benefits. Let's show them one of those downgraded versions.
And it's a full body workout, and it stretches the organs.
All right.
Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, pivot back on the hips, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. So this will be the basic. Exhale, hands down, high plank. Great. Now, if you start on your knees, right?
So this is the graded version. If you can't support yourself from Mzansi,
absolutely.
A brilliant idea. If you're just getting into yoga, you can do the exact same movement, get the same stimulation, but slightly easier so you can control that and get true awareness. I love this.
Great, and then we're going to release onto the belly, nice and slow, nice and easy. And then we're going to slide forward for a little cobra.
And again, my hip flexors, the psoas, my core just coming alive in this position.
Right, lower back.
Yeah.
Great, then we make our way to downward facing dog.
And again, this one for the calves, I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I think it's all the hiking. You have released the demons within me.
Finding the balance. And then we'll slowly tiptoe forward. Great. And now we're going to grab opposite elbows. So to stay here for a little ragdoll. Allow fresh oxygen to flush to the brain. Another nice way to get the day started. And then again, remembering to breathe, you know, every posture has a breath. Great. Release the hands, bring the feet to touch. Inhale, rise back up, look up, high mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. So what's lovely about yoga is there's no right or wrong. You can, if you don't want to do your plank in a plank position, you can drop your knees. If you want to level that up, you can too. You can lift the one foot and the other.
On Monday morning, though, everything about it felt right. I think, Mzansi, if you joined us now, you know what I'm talking about. Enjoy that smile, enjoy the endorphin rush. And we've just enjoyed Roxy Barton. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, kickstarting on Monday. And happy World Yoga Day.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste. It's on to Jamie for a roundup on what's happening in the news. Let's go find out.
2 minutes before 7 o'clock, let's find out what's happening in and around the world. We start with your local news first. The Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality says it's concerned that the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, has rejected all 65,000 objections to the gazetted name changes in the Eastern Cape. The new names were gazetted on 23rd February and jettisoned Port Elizabeth for Gqeberha, Uitenhage for Kariga, and King Williamstown for Xonse. East London Airport was renamed King Paulo Airport, and Port Elizabeth Airport was renamed Chief David Stearman International Airport. And then, despite calls for schools to be shut following an increase in the number of infections countrywide, a decision to keep them open was made on Saturday at a meeting of the Council of Education Ministers. Now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga says that COVID-19 cases will be handled according to the differentiated risk adjustment strategy. She has also urged all teachers to get vaccinated in order to stabilize schooling. The vaccine rollout will begin on Wednesday and run until schools close on the 8th of July. And then looking to news further abroad, 3 takenauts have entered China's space station for a 3-month mission called Shenzhou 12, China's state-owned broadcaster has reported. Now, this makes them the first Chinese to ever reach a space station and the first astronauts to set foot in the new Chinese space station. The trio will now unpack their supplies and set up internet connections and other equipment. During their stay, they will carry out various experiments, including testing the space station's module life support capabilities. They'll also conduct spacewalks to test new spacesuits and robot arms. And then the 9-year-old Zimbabwean boy who was severely disfigured after a hyena attack has arrived in South Africa for reconstructive surgery. Rodwell Nkomazana was at a night church service when he was attacked. He lost an eye, his nose, and parts of his mouth, forehead, and cheeks during the attack. Rodwell was flown to Johannesburg on Saturday and greeted by Sandton Mediclinic hospital staff singing the South African national anthem. Plastic surgeons led by Ridwan Mia, dental surgeons, and pediatricians are now preparing to reconstruct his face using tissue from his body, and of course the work will be done pro bono. And then next, some news from the world of entertainment. South African soprano Masabene Cecilia Rangwanasha has won the song prize at the prestigious BBC Cardiff Singer of the World 2021. The 27-year-old rose to victory against finalists from Madagascar, Wales, South Korea and Austria with a mix of popular leader, South African song Xhosa and spirituals. Rangwanasha impressed the judging panel chaired by Wigmore Hall's artistic and executive director John Galuli, along with classical singers, American soprano Roberta Alexander and Welsh bass baritone Neil Davies. Now, the South African Singers Prize is £10,000, that's almost 200,000 rand, as well as many fantastic opportunities to perform across the UK and internationally. Rangwanasha studied at UCT and the Tshwane University of Technology before going on to London, where she was a member of the Jet Parker Young Artist Program in the 2019-2020 season. In 2019, she sang the soprano solo in Verdi's Requiem with the Stellenbosch Ode Libertas Choir, and she was also nominated for Best Singer in the opera category at Woordfeest 2019 in South Africa. On that beautiful sopranic note, that is where I leave your 7 a.m. news headlines. Here is Raul with a look at the sport headlines.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Now to take a look at our sport, we're starting off with the cricket, where Rassie van der Duyson's 75 and a career-best score of 40 runs by Kagiso Rabada helped the Proteas recover from 73 for 7 to post a second innings total of 174 all-out on day 3 of the second test against the West Indies in St. Lucia. Now, the Windies, who need a 309-run score to win, finished the day on 15 runs with no wickets taken. And all the action and cricket action between the West Indies and South Africa will continue today at 4 p.m. Now, moving over to rugby, where Italian club Benetton were crowned Rainbow Cup champions after defeating the Bulls 35-8 at the Stadio Comunale di Monigo on Saturday. Now, Benetton, led by South African Dewald Duvenacher, outplayed the men from Pretoria, in Italy, as they struggled with their poor handling and a wayward kicking game. Now, Marcel Coetzee, who led the Bulls in the absence of the injured Dwayne Vermeulen, said Benetton were deserved winners of the title. Now, unfortunately, sticking to rugby, it was a double heartbreak for the Bulls, who also suffered an opening round loss to Western Province in the Currie Cup. Hooker JJ Coetzee scored 4 tries to guide Western Province to a 48-24 win over the Bulls at Loftus Versfeld. And in other opening round results, the Sharks overcame windy conditions in Kimberley to beat the Griquas 30-16, and the Pumas started their campaign on a winning note. Now, after recording a 39-10 victory, and that was over the Lions in Nelspruit. And moving over to soccer, defending champions Portugal went down to Germany in their Group F Euro 2020 clash on Saturday. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo gave Portugal a 15th-minute lead, but Germany went in at the break 2-1 up, thanks to own goals from Ruben Diaz and Rafael Guerreiro. Expresso. Now, the Germans added 2 more goals in the second half to register a memorable 4-2 win in Munich. Now, in other Euro 2020 results, France and Hungary drew 1-1, and England and Scotland played out to a goalless draw. Now, moving things over to a full-throttle motorsport where Red Bull's Max Verstappen took a brilliant race win at the French Grand Prix to extend his lead at the top of the drivers' standings. Now, the 23-year-old fought back to pass reigning Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton and record Red Bull's 3rd consecutive win. Mercedes Hamilton settled for 2nd, and Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez finishing on the podium in 3rd place. And lastly, in motorsport news, the king of the ring, Marky Marquez, is back to winning ways after claiming his first MotoGP race win since 2019. Now, this was the 8-time world champion's 11th straight victory at the Sachsenring at the German Grand Prix. Now, the Honda rider held off KTM's Miguel Oliveira in 2nd, and championship leader Fabio Quartararo rounding off the podium positions. And that was leaving South Africa's Brad Binder, who started in 13th place with a beautiful finish in 4th. That's a roundup of our sport. Let's find out what's happening with our 7 o'clock weather report with Jamie Lee Domberg.
Let's get right into that weather news. California in the U.S. is getting an early taste of the summer that state officials have been dreading all year. A heat wave spanning much of the western U.S. has brought extremely high temperatures to California. Now, trees, grass and brush left parched by a nearly rain-free winter are also catching flame as California officials brace for a difficult season ahead. Meanwhile, some 3,500 kilometers to the east of California, 10 people, including 9 children, have been killed in an accident involving 18 vehicles in the storm-hit state of Alabama. This after tropical depression Claudette brought torrential rain which caused flash flooding and tornadoes, destroying dozens of homes in Alabama, Louisiana and Georgia. Now, forecasters warned heavy rain was likely to continue. Flash flooding warnings are in place at the moment. And of course, while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning, we're reporting on the weather for the city of Redding, California as well. Now, the city of Redding lies along the Sacramento River in Northern California, with a suspension bridge actually acting as a huge working sundial. Now, with over 300 days of sunshine, Redding is the 2nd sunniest city in the US. The city of Redding has already experienced some fire breakouts, which I just mentioned, and firefighters have been hard at work keeping fires at bay. Today is set to be another scorcher in the area, with temperatures peaking at 37 degrees Celsius. The day will be hot with plenty of sunshine. Caution advised if doing strenuous activities outside. And then bringing it back to our own shores, we received the following stunning sunrise submissions from our South African-based viewers. Louise G. Sherry from Maybury Park in Alberton shared yet another glorious sunrise photo with us showing off the sun rays breaking through the cloud cover. Another one from Yolanda Tomlinson from Scottsboro shared this picture taken overlooking the ocean as the sun rises on the horizon, casting hues of orange and yellow across the sky. And of course, if you'd like to share your sunrise photo with us, it really is that simple. Head on over to the Expresso Facebook page, and who knows, you might get a feature on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Right now, though, it's time to have a second look at the temperatures for today. We start with you, Polokwane. Do expect a low of 4 today, peaking at 19. If you do find yourself in Umbombela, expect a range of 9 to 24. Pretoria for you, it is 6:19. Johannesburg, 6:17. And then Mahikeng coming through with a minimum temperature of 4, peaking at 21. Klerksdorp for you, it is 2:20. Kimberley ranges from 5 to 20, and then Bloemfontein with a -2, peaking at 20 today. Richards Bay, if you're out and about, expect a minimum of 13 and a high of 25, and then Pietermaritzburg, sunshine coming your way, ranging from 6 to 26. Durban, 14:25, Mthatha, 4:26, and then East London, sunshine is also coming your way, ranging from 18 to 28. Cradock, 6:24, Gqeberha for you, it is 16:27. If you do find yourself in George today, do expect a low of 18 and a high of 27. If you are out and about in the mother city, Cape Town today, your low is 15 with a high of 24. Worcester, 13:26. Sutherland, 7:16. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 12 to 24. Wherever you find yourself on this Monday, make sure it is a feel-good kind of day.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Now, of course, we're celebrating a beautiful day, and they don't call us a Rainbow Nation for nothing. That's the reason why we're chatting to you this morning about being a Rainbow Nation, of course, also talking about Pride Month, and we're asking you about someone special in your life that is living proudly, and we asked you to come through on our social media channels, and of course you did, and we've got some beautiful comments which I'm about to read, starting off with Vincent Muziwandile, who says, Happy Pride Month. Good morning, Expresso team, and happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, Vincent. And then we've got Benzini saying, good morning. My mom is the person I look up to. She is such a loving and caring mom. I think when it comes to moms, we can definitely agree with you on that one. We all do definitely love them. And then we've got Rukaya Shabodin, who says, good morning. I look up to my grandmother. With the little she had, she manages to feed so many people. Oh, well, Rukaya, to your gran, I say thank you very much because she allowed you to be able to come through and chat with us today too. And then Colleen Kinshella says, good morning, family. My granny, she was always there for us no matter what. I miss her so, so much. More coming through, though. You guys have been coming through with the comms. And we've got Chanel Amy Kusal saying, good morning. The person I look up to is my brother, Wade Kusal, also known as Inner Appropriate. Oh, Inner Appropriator. I like that. See what you did there. Now, who happens to be on the Expresso show this morning? Oh, where are you at? Hey! I love that. We'll be obviously chatting to her a little bit more. And I see everybody's coming through and saying thank you. What a legend. So that's going to happen live in the show. I'm even excited for this one. I didn't even know. So we're definitely going to be looking through to that. But keep coming through on our social media channels. Of course, we want to chat to you. We want to find out who's the person that inspires you, who is living a truthful life, and who is just being proud in their own beautiful skin. Let us know. Come through on the social media channels. Use that hashtag, and we're going to continue to educate and celebrate Pride Month. Woo!
And a trio that is living loud and proud, featuring a stunning blend of lip-syncing, dancing, comedy, and eye-catching outfits. The world of drag performance and entertainment is an exciting environment that has provided authentic expression for the LGBTQI+ community for decades. And joining us this morning to share more about what goes into drag entertainment are the members of drag girl group Iconic, Maxine Wild, Inappropriate, and Kalani Khalifa. Give them a warm Expresso welcome, everybody. Let me first start by saying, queens, yes, yes, yes. You guys look amazing. Everything from the top to the bottom looks amazing. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I think I'll start with you, Inappropriate. I mean, this has been, a month where we've seen so many people speak about what it means to you being in, in the space that you're in. What does Pride Month mean to you?
To me, Pride Month means everything about the importance of just being yourself. I think even a testament to my own drag career, I've been questioned a lot with how I approached the art form. And I continue to do what I did, and look where I'm sitting today. Be yourself, that's what Pride means to me.
For sure. And then for Kalani, obviously drag culture has a massive influence on pop culture and also slang terminology with phrases like yes queen, spelling the T, face beat, hante, all this speech. Has this removed, any of the stigma of being a drag performer?
It does, because dating back from, all the way from the ballroom scene, I feel like everyone's so much more comfortable now as we're growing together. It's a lot more, people are more aware of all of us, and now as you're just getting that little bit of spice to the words. It just gives it that extra je ne sais quoi.
The je ne sais quoi that we're here for. Obviously, Maxine, you are a performer, and we see you transform, every day. What is it like for you to embody this and just live out your life authentically? But when you are transitioning into this beautiful person, you are just, being true to who you are.
It's actually a lot that goes into the art of drag, something that the audience don't get to see. From hair to makeup, it's not just that. Like, we plan weeks ahead for a show. So it is a lot that goes into it. But I think for myself, and I can speak amongst all of us, like, the excitement, like, we get excited to see the crowd, and that hypes us up. So I think the excitement gets to us, and that allows us to showcase who we are on stage.
I just want to know how long it takes for makeup, because usually for makeup, for me, it's like 45 minutes. I do the basic. I don't do the glam, the contour, the eyebrows, just everything. How long does it take for a basic face beat?
Okay, so for myself, 45 minutes.
Listen, I
Kilani?
woke up at 1 this morning.
You woke up at 1 o'clock this
I woke up at 1
morning.
this morning to be this ready.
Well, it is so worth it. You know, what about you? How long did it take for you to get ready this
No,
morning?
I was ready at midnight already.
She came ready. She came ready, everybody. Now, of course, one of the most popular forms of dancing in drag performance is called the Vogue, which originated out of Black and Latino LGBTQI communities in the 80s. And Ina is going to show us a few basic steps before the ladies do a Vogue off in a bit. Ina, so you are going to be leading us through all of this, and you're going to be showing us how just a basic, Vogue performance is done. Can you do that for us?
Of course. Waar moet ik staan?
Right there, honey. You were born ready for this. I mean, 12 o'clock last night, you were ready. So it just means you are ready for this performance.
Okay, well, the art of Vogue is so vast, like there's different types of Vogue, but the one that's most popular is probably the new wave kind of Vogue, which has 5 elements. There's namely hand performance, shoulder, 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 shoulder. Hand performance is quite a popular one. Then there's catwalk, which is get into the frame, my hair is big.
Hey, 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 hype it up.
And then there is also the duck walk, which is,
The floor is yours, Ina. The floor is yours.
And then there's also spin dips, which I won't do now, but I'll just give a cute, little quack, quack, quack. And then there's also floor performance. I'm not going to go on the floor, I'm too classy for that. But yeah, that's pretty much how you can mix the elements and call it Vogue.
Yeah. I love how she was not ready. Can we just get a round of applause, everybody?
Y'all catch me unawares.
We have to put you through your paces, but here's the thing. I like how you said you were not ready, but when we asked you to deliver, you came there, gave us a side spin, you gave us a dip, you gave us everything. So that is obviously just a taster for what we can expect for the performance today. For you at home, if you want to see drag performance at its finest, we are serving today. We've got some coming for you in just a second, so don't go anywhere because more of this and more of this coming your way on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, everybody. Yes, honey.
Alyssa Edwards, you better work.
I am Alyssa Edwards, and this is Alyssa's Secrets.
Stroll down the runway, another payday, cover of magazine.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
And when they see me, they wanna be me. I am a fantasy.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. We're still live, opening up on S3 and celebrating the month of June, which is dedicated to Pride. Now, this is when the LGBTQ plus communities come together to celebrate who they are and, of course, their freedom. Now, the United Prides of Africa group creates a safe space for Pride to flourish on the continent. And the event taking place this Saturday, the 26th of June, is going to honor the LGBTQ plus communities, and they aim to use their online platform to deliver a Pride event in which everyone can participate. Now, wherever they are in Africa and the world, don't worry. Matthew Vanas is the production coordinator at the United Prides of Africa, and he's joining us in the studio this morning. Tell us more about the upcoming event. Matthew, it's so good having you in the studio. How are you doing?
Good morning. It's nice to be in the new studio. It's lovely.
You're liking the ambiance?
I'm liking this ambiance a lot.
There's a lot more room, I think, to celebrate.
Exactly. And it's
so tell, for the viewers who don't know anything about this, tell me more about who you are and also the significance of Pride Month, essentially.
Okay, so that's a multi-layered question. So I'm Matthew Vanas, and I'm the Festival Director of Cape Town Pride. I'm also production coordinator for United Prides of Africa. I am a board member on Interpride representing Africa. I'm on the Global Advisory Council representing Africa. I keep myself extremely busy.
So wow.
So Pride Month solely is for visibility. We're a minority that needs visibility.
Yes.
And with the state of what's actually happening, even if you look into what's happening in our country, 15 deaths, homophobic murders in the last 3 months.
Jeez, that's shocking.
And that's targeted. So, you know, we need visibility and we need spaces, and we need to take up spaces. So that's really where this whole idea of United Prides of Africa has come from, because as you know, so many countries in Africa, it's illegal to be part of the LGBTIQI plus community. And we need to give spaces for this now. Yeah. There's 22 countries that have death penalties if you're part of the LGBTIQA community. So this is where these spaces are needed. And we started United Prides of Africa last year in September. We did our first show, and we had 15 countries involved other than South Africa sending messages, and this is from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's really important that these countries do get visibility. Not everybody has the same rights as we do. And I mean, even within our own country, what's on paper and what happens in reality are two very different things.
So true, yeah.
So we're using this platform, a virtual platform, which we weren't really sure about, because when COVID hit, we're like, oh, now what? Because now we can't have any in-person events.
Yeah.
And then we found that having a virtual event, we were able to actually reach a lot more people. Last year for United Prides of Africa, we reached 1.3 million people worldwide.
Wow.
To spread the message of what's actually happening in Africa, of hope and all these wonderful things, but also giving the visibility that it needs, you know?
Well, I mean, you're speaking so much about visibility, and my question was to ask you how is that going to help, but you clearly mentioned that. I mean, there's this apparent awareness that you are free, and in certain countries like South Africa, you are free, but there's still personal stigma, and like you mentioned, these targeted attacks. So you're making me understand the importance of this visibility, you're making me understand what you are doing when it comes to the United Prides of Africa event. How then can we, if we see this to be a just cause, and I'm hoping everybody does, because clearly it is, how can we get involved? How can we maybe support this?
Okay, so there's multiple ways of doing this. So first of all, tune in on Saturday. It's at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time. It's going to be on our Facebook page. It's also on our YouTube channel. I'm sure they'll be showing our handles all over the place. So you can have a look there. There is also a donation page. Now, like, I don't like to ask for this, but like, we run a lot of projects, and these projects are really important. But with COVID, we haven't been able to fund any of them as we normally do. So there is a donation page. Please donate if you can. And I mean, this is also going towards a lot of projects. And the most amazing project that we have running at the moment is called the Nkoli House Project.
Nkoli House Project. Okay.
And this is going to be a crisis center and a senior citizens care facility. Oh, wow. And what's quite momentous today is actually, a little bit later today, we're actually meeting with the Premier to discuss premises for this project that we're going to be starting here in Cape Town, and hopefully
finding it a home.
Finding it a home.
Some roots down.
Exactly.
This is beautiful.
So we're having a meeting today with the Premier's office and to try and actually sort this out, and also have the discussions about the hate murders. And you know, and the hate crimes, not even murders, these are hate crimes. So this is what we're going to be doing. And yeah, this is how people can get involved. When you see something, share it, you know? There's articles, share it with your friends and families. Let people know what's actually happening within the LGBTI community. If you think about it, we are about 12% of the population of South Africa. Now, an interesting fact is that there's only about 10.2% white people in South Africa. So there's more LGBTIQ people in South Africa. So
we cannot deny the importance of it, and we cannot deny the fact that there is a place for everyone in this country.
Exactly.
Now, I love what you're talking about. I love the fact that we need to have more conversation. We need to be presenting this as a normal thing, that this is the world we live in, and I love that. And thank you for being a part of our conversation today. We're celebrating the start of a beautiful month. It should be a year, it should be a lifespan. We should be celebrating
every day
Pride
should be Pride.
every day. But today is just one of those days where we get to further highlight the importance. So thank you so much, Matthew, for joining us.
It's an absolute
pleasure. And obviously a big thank you again to the United Prides of Africa and the rest of your teams for sharing that news and that knowledge. Now, we are in for a treat, of course, because Matthew brought along 3 Pride artists. We've got the theme Gabriel, Odidi, Diva, and Kat Geladi, who will be taking to the studio floor for 3 out-of-this-world performances, and you do not want to miss it. It's celebrating. It's Pride Month. Let's do this.
I can feel all of the excitement here in studio as we're celebrating Pride Month. But of course, we're back in the kitchen, and Jenny Morris is going to be taking us through her taste buds of Morocco.
Absolutely, sweetheart. They are wonderful flavors.
Gorgeous in here. Lots of flavors. I can see all of that.
So what I'm going to do is you can use any kind of lamb chop. This is a beautiful chop. Just look at these sexy chops. Do they not look gorgeous, baby?
As sexy as Raul, because you were definitely saying like that man is hot.
That man is hot. He's like sizzling. No, he's not. He's steaming. No, he's a naughty boy because he shouldn't take off his clothes like that.
He shouldn't.
I'm an old woman.
But it's okay. For today's purpose, he's going to keep on all his clothes just for you, Jenny Morris. But that is a beautiful piece of meat, and I'm talking about the lamb chops right now.
You see, we're getting confused at naughty Ryle. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to, because it's got a lot of its own natural fats that go into it, I'm going to season it up with some salt and pepper, like so. And the beauty of this is, can you multitask?
I can.
Can you listen and chop, doll?
I'm going to try.
You've got to watch your fingers, because that's part of the sauce, the lovely prunes.
The prunes.
So, Jamie,
yes,
we've got time for that, my baba.
Okay.
So all we're doing is we're putting some beautiful salt and pepper on here, and then some cumin, which is a wonderful Moroccan flavor. And as you know, in Morocco, cumin is like part of the holy trinity of spices. And then just rub it onto, can you smell that already? It's
just like that alone, with a nice sear.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I'm going to just pop them into the pan. And oranges feature so much in Morocco. In fact, if you are going down the street, you'll see oranges growing in the street, but they're the bitter orange, so people don't really steal them.
So note, when you go to Morocco, don't try the oranges on the side of the road. They are bitter.
Exactly, because you'll just end up like, because they're so sour.
It'll teach you right for trying to steal oranges.
So we're going to just let those go very, very gently. We want to get just a nice little crust on them. And then we're going to make a really gorgeous sauce to go with it, using like spring onions and chili. You often hear about harissa in Moroccan food. I'm going to just pop this into
What is harissa?
Harissa is like a chili paste. So not all of their food is hot, but if they want to bring a nice hot element into it, they take dry chilies and they soak them and then pound them out with some garlic and things like that. So
sounds like something I would love.
You will, but I'm going to use fresh chilies for this. And then once again, the flavors of Morocco, you've got things like cinnamon. When I think of cinnamon, you know what I think of? Camels and belly dancers. Oh, hello.
That is what cinnamons make you think of?
Of course, and that I'm worth, I don't know, about 50 million goats.
You are.
And donkeys. Oh, darling. I am like hot property in Morocco.
You are a queen. You are a
because
queen.
I've got fat pleckies. The more fat pleckies you got, the more goats they fling at you.
Ooh, then I probably have 100 million cows or what?
No, you're worth about 3 cows. No, you're good.
Am I good? Okay.
You're
we
a
need to go.
here, but there...
We're good.
Oh, yes, big girls.
Oh, look at that sear. Look at that nice crust that you have going there.
I need to just chop those up.
Okay.
And then I'm going to, normally I would take the chops out of the pan and then put them back into the pan, but I'm going to just be a naughty girl. No, I'm not going to be a naughty girl. I'm going to be a good girl, so I'm going to just take these out for literally half a minute. And then I want to, like the garlic, I'm going to put nice big chunks of garlic in here because I don't want the garlic to overpower the sauce. And chili, you're going to start coughing in a minute because the chili is going to just
Let me try to take a step back because I'm not trying to cough here because you're going to think that
cinnamon.
I'm sick. Cinnamon, thinking of...
Just remember that every time belly dances and
belly
camels,
dances and
that
camels.
you're worth a lot of money in Morocco.
Not in South Africa.
No, I want to tell you, we were in a market, and my husband was standing next to me, and this man was doing this on my fatplekkies. I don't have as many sausages on my back as I used to, but oh boy, he even threw in an old frot car. And
what did your husband say?
He wasn't aware, because I didn't want to create a thing, but I was like very edgy and very nervous to get out of there.
Hectic.
Naughty boys.
Naughty, naughty boys.
Naughty, naughty. So I have got here, Jamie, a little bit of butter, which is going to enrich the sauce, and some orange juice, just so that my spices don't burn. Look at that. Can you smell? Is it smelling glorious? And then I'm going to just take some of these from you and pop them. If you can't get prunes, you could use apricots. The beauty of the Moroccan food is it's so diverse. So often you'll find that this is portable food. So if in the desert, I cooked in the desert, I filmed in the desert, and there was nothing fresh. Everything was dried, pulses and fruits. And so
you have to bring it back to life.
Bring it, absolutely. So now we just pop this into here. The oranges are absolutely delicious. And then you take this. I've already made some up front for you, so you don't have to worry that I'm not going to feed you today, darling.
But I know, Mondays, Jenny Morris is here, I'm going to be well fed. And then I can go back to Morocco, and then maybe I'll be worth more cows after eating all your food.
Tell you, I'll feed you. You'll be a billionaire. And then the zest. And coriander and parsley, very big, very big. It goes into every tagine, actually. Even if they do seafood, like a chamula, they'll have, they call it Moroccan saffron, and parsley and coriander. They make a beautiful paste with it. Now you see this is starting to reduce gorgeously, and then we're going to take this lovely honey. Look at that.
Oh, honey, she is ready.
Isn't she
Look
gorgeous?
at that.
And then the honey will caramelize and get all sticky around your chops. And then the orange is going to give you this beautiful fresh fragrance, and you go in with that. And then you follow your mother to that side, and
I was
she
just about
fattens you up.
I was just about to say now, Monday is not complete without getting fed from Jenny Morris. Expressoshow.com is where you can find your hands on the recipe and the full ingredient list. And while I eat this,
isn't that
oh,
gorgeous,
and this is served with nice couscous.
And serve it with couscous, or you could serve it with
pomegranate,
bulgur wheat. Yum, yum.
This is so good.
Isn't that beautiful?
Again, I'm fed, and it's time to go to Morocco, everybody. Thank you, Jenny Morris.
Enjoy.
A healthier you starts with you and your plate. Join us on a nourishing journey by entering to be on SABC2's new show, Color Your Plate with Koo. To be part of the show, buy any 3 Koo products and send Koo5 a day to 072 741 5357 on WhatsApp. Follow the steps to load a picture of your colorful meal served and stand to win prizes valued at 500,000 rands with Koo. Koo, uzotwala.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's tissue oil and rich body care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. It is Pride Month here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're celebrating everyone that is loud, proud, and authentically themselves. But this was not always the case, because in the early hours of the morning of 28th of June 1969, police raided a gay bar called the Stonewall Inn in Manhattan, New York, as part of a targeted systemic homophobia from the government and oppression of gay rights. And this sparked a massive series of riots and protests that have since become the iconic catalyst of the gay liberation movement known as the Stonewall Riots, and was a symbolic call to arms for many, many people. And of course, like I mentioned, we're in the midst of Pride Month, so we're sharing these words spoken by American actor George Takei, who, even though he only officially came out in 2005, has been a long time and a beloved activist for the LGBTQI plus community. And he had once this to say. He said, "We should indeed keep calm in the face of difference and live our lives in a state of inclusion and wonder at the diversity of humanity." Yes, yes, yes. And with that being said, we do have the trio Iconic here to deliver all of the magic here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Yeah, an iconic trio we've got indeed. So much excitement happening now. You do not want to go anywhere. Prepare for this, right? So speaking of the historical and pivotal Stonewall riots, one of the prominent voices at the forefront of these protests was drag queen Marsha P. Johnson. Now, drag queens and performances have been an important part of expression when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. So we're back with Maxine, Inappropriate, and Kalani from the girl group Iconic, who are ready to serve us some realness on this Expresso stage. But I thought before we get into the performances, I'm so jealous because I need to get glammed up like this. I want to look as hot as this. I want to learn how to Vogue. And I'm asking the professionals how. Please, can you teach me a move?
Of course, of course.
Yes.
Of course. We'll do what we can do, you know?
Look, and there's a rumor going around the studio. I'm not the best. I don't have the loosest hips, so I'm going to need you to come through here.
Oh, no, I'll teach me. I know something about the hips. Anyway.
What are we doing today? What is this whole Vogue thing about?
Voguing is basically an art form. It's also a form of dance that has been popular in the New York scene, in the ballroom culture scene for eons.
All
as
right.
long as I can remember that.
Okay.
Let me not be specific. But yeah, it's been around for a while, and it's basically a form of expression.
All right, Tawal, you're going to help me express myself today in Expresso?
The one element I think I want to teach you today is called the catwalk.
Okay.
Because everyone likes a straight masculine.
Come on in.
Oh, no, you just... Now you're going to make this even worse. She's going to show me how bad I am at this.
No,
but anyway,
I thought I was going to support you in this, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does have a bit
All right, let's do it.
left.
Okay,
That's
cool.
fine.
So what we're going to do is we're first going to do hands. So
Hands,
we're
all right.
basically going to tap your elbow and then switch it.
Yeah.
And switch.
Yeah.
And switch.
Okay, I can do this. I can do this.
So now I want your hips to move in the opposite way.
Ooh,
Opposite.
that's where the problems come in.
Switch.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm doing it wrong.
Whoa.
And switch. And switch.
Switch. And switch.
So now go.
And switch. Switch. Switch.
Back. Hips, hips,
Come on, Kyle de Monet. I think we found your calling. You know,
I think I'm going to work on this. I might be adding another member to this crew if you guys are keen.
I mean, we need the hetero somewhere.
we need your name. What is it? What will your name be?
I don't know. I need to be like bestowed a name like Ralita or Ralicious.
Ralicious, hello.
Look, guys, it's obviously time for some more spice, and we're going to bring it to you right now on the Expresso Show as the ladies of the Iconic perform House of Edwards. Take it away. Vogue it, Vogue it, Vogue it.
Alyssa Edwards, you better work.
I am Alyssa Edwards, and this is Alyssa's Secrets.
Stroll down the runway, another payday, cover of magazine.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
And when they see me, they wanna be me. I am a fantasy. Fantasy. Put the bass in your walk. Head to toe, let your whole body talk. Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Head to toe, let your whole body talk.
Let me get a look.
Hallelujah, I'm back! Yes! I'm back! Hallelujah's in the building!
Shangela.
Clock the hair, clock the mug, clock the nails, clock my skirt. You better get into it. Clock the bag, clock the shoe. Now punch the clock, it's time to work. This is how you steal the show. I'm a pro. I'm a pro. I am a professional pro. I'm a pro. I'm a pro. I am a professional.
Really, girl? You thought she was gonna forget about me? Come on, legs. The ganja.
Like a pretzel. Legs overhead like a pretzel. You know you want it. You like how I throw it back like a missile. Legs long, waist thin, and that's what you wanna taste them. Thick lips where you wanna place them. Where you wanna place them. I ain't even mention the coupe de gras, the cassava melons, and I purr the bra. Put my legs up high like a handstand. It's the new pre-sex and that. Legs overhead. You know you want it, want it. You know you want it. How I throw it back like a missile. Legs overhead. You know you want it. You know you want it. How I throw it back like a missile.
Remix! Let me get me some. Counting me out, but I'm not done. Alyssa on the set, now watch your back. If you wanna turn the party, put your mama on the track. Take it to the stage. Kill it with a hot kick, part of a rage. Don't tip me with the jingle, baby, tip me with the phone. You know I have to say it. What? That rolls.
How you turn the party, baby.
Yes, God, House of Edwards.
Always in the crowd work. Alyssa Edwards.
Okay. Yeah, that's that Vogue for you, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe it. Don't be a drag, just be a queen, because we love the freedom and the acceptance that exists in the drag performance community. It's been such a joy being joined by these phenomenal performers, and we've got more coming straight at you. Don't go anywhere. Vogue. Woo!
Care is bringing passion to everything you do.
Proving good taste and good values go hand in hand.
Care is what goes into every single cup of Nespresso.
Made with care. Hecho con cuidado.
Nespresso. What else?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show here on S3, and it's time to continue our very important and very interesting discussion around Pride Month. We are now joined in studio by Tamara Netman and Marlene Snowdon, a couple that's been together for, get this, 18 years and married for 8 years. And we're, of course, privileged to have them in studio to share more about their story. So, ladies, a very good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
I mean, it must be so different for both of you to see a day like, or a month like this being celebrated, because date back to 18 years, this wasn't accepted, this wasn't allowed, people weren't living their authentic self, but now you guys, I guess, get to be a part of history and be a part of telling your stories. Share a bit more about your story with us.
So, obviously, you know, I was growing up in the 70s, just taboo. We all knew about each other. It was like a subculture. We would see each other in the clubs. It was the club scene, the disco scene. And over the years, in fact, coincidentally, I was one of the first for the first gay pride. And in those days, we had to put a plastic bag or a brown bag on your head and just have holes for your eyes. And I think there were 50 people for the first Pride March in Johannesburg. And to see it progressively over the years becoming more acceptable, it's actually quite heartwarming. And in today's age, it's obviously quite fluid and acceptable. But in our days, in the 70s, it wasn't. Going into the 80s, it started emerging. And it's, as I said today, it's liberating to actually see it. But in our days, it was tough. We were the pioneers, and we actually had to pave the way for the rest.
Tamara, maybe I'll start with you as well. And at what age will you start questioning or maybe experimenting with your sexuality?
Probably around about the age of 9. I knew that I was different, simply because I cared for my girlfriends more than I did for the boys that were around me at the time. And having boys around growing up, I had boyfriends, but somehow I didn't quite feel the same. And yet I loved my boyfriends as much as my girlfriends. It was just a matter of time when I started realizing, coming to terms with it. And I also got to embrace it, but for a long time I actually suppressed it, purely because I didn't feel I could speak about it and be open about who I was growing up. Yeah.
What made that shift, or when did that shift come where you said, you know what, it's time. It's time tomorrow, it's time for you to live your truth. You can't suppress your feelings anymore. This is who I am. It
became so obvious that I was living something that was not true. And, you know, sadly, I was in a relationship with a guy, a lovely man, and I decided at the age of, fast forward 10 years from the 9 years old, at 19, to actually come out to my family. And I actually spoke to my mom, and that's when I told her.
Now, I want to hear about this beautiful relationship, 18 years together, 8 years married. Where did you guys meet? What was your story?
We were friends initially. we both have a certain, you know, like a culture that we believe in. We both believe in family values. We were friends and we were working together. And we'd both just come out of relationships and realized it's actually a good fit. Getting to know each other first as friends and then moving on into a relationship. It was rocky at first because to have your best friend into a relationship. And then we just decided we wanted to build a legacy together and have it forever and ever. Please. So that's kind of where it started, and that's how we decided also down the line, things are only just improving. How about we solidify? It's now legal. Just get married. It was the natural next step, and yeah, it's the best thing ever.
Looking back now, what would you tell yourself now in this space that you're in? Obviously, like you said, things have changed a lot, but obviously, looking back 18 years ago, it wasn't the same. What would you tell yourselves back now to what you guys went through back then?
To when we started to where we are now, fussbait. And more importantly, you got to do what's right for each other. You will always have the naysayers. You will always have the people who are negative about any union for that matter. We've been through it. And I think today is also going to be a testimony to how many people are still going to be talking to us after we've come out. We would just say hang in there, be true to yourself, and live for what is right for the two of you. And if the people accept you, you embrace them into your life. And those that don't, you just wish them well. Let them live their life.
Tamara, do you want to add on to anything for someone that is, you know, like you were at 9 years old, suppressed the feelings, didn't want to tell or share their journey with everyone else? What do you have for people like that that's watching right now?
I think it's really important just to be authentic in whatever and whoever you are. And I think authenticity wasn't celebrated, but rather a predestined and determined norm. And I think it's vital to live authentically. People are more accepting and loving than we actually give people credit for. And I think we've also taught many people who've got to know us, who had different ideals of what gay people are and how they live, that we're very normal, you know. And rather than the word, you know, I'm Tamara and I'm gay, it's not. I'm just Tamara. And this is who I love, and this is our union. And, you know, you need to celebrate that. Find your true person, build your lives together, and enjoy your life, whatever that may be.
If no one's ever said thank you, let me say thank you to both of you for just living your truth and for also sharing your story and your journey with us. 18 years, 8 years married. It's taken you a while to get here, but thank you so much for sharing with us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And of course, for you at home, in just a few moments, we get to meet Kirsty Aitken-Momelis, who is helping same-sex couples' wedding dreams come true. So you don't want to go around, stick around for that.
Thank you.
Oh, don't go anywhere, and we are feeling extra good as we celebrate Pride Month this morning. And joining us for this game of 5 seconds, our special guest, Maxine Wild, Inappropriate, and Kalani Khalifa. Now, this is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. The rules are simple. The rules of the game are as easy as this. You're going to get asked a series of questions, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds, only 5 seconds, and that's all you have to answer the question. And the winner of today's prestigious game gets to walk away with this beautiful box of yum peanut butter rusks. You do want this, I'm telling you, of course. Do you understand the rules? Yeah. This is going to be intense. This game is crazy, all right? So you've got literally 5 seconds to answer the question, all right? Each of you is going to be asked a question, and you need to name 3 things within those 5 seconds, all right? Does that make sense? Kalani Khalifa, let me start with you, all right? So you've got 5 seconds to answer the following. Can you please name 3 green vegetables?
Cabbage, spinach, broccoli.
Ah, slay. Too easy. Well done. Simple as that. Too easy. Okay. So let me ask you the next question, Maxine. Can you name 3 yellow fruits and fruits?
Banana, lemon.
Come on! We're close. We'll give you that. All right, Ina, you're next. So apparently at the moment, Kalani is in the lead, all right? But your question is the following. Can you name 3 typically red items?
A fire truck, that red light, that cupboard.
I guess we're going to have to accept that. You're breaking the rules there. All right, well done. All right, round 1 is done. You guys get the rules. It's simple. Obviously, as you can see, the color and the theme. Well, the theme is color, of course, in aid of Pride Month. So round number 2. Kalani, are you ready? Yeah. All right, concentrate. Can you name 3 colors in the rainbow?
Blue, red, yellow, purple.
I'll accept it. We got that one. Well done. Well played. All right. Maxine, name 3 colors in the South African flag.
Red, black, white.
Ah, well played. Very good. All right. Round 2 to finish it up. Inappropriate. Name 3 colors of the trans flag.
Oh, blue, white, and pink.
Ah, it's too easy. Round 2, absolute flawless. Let's move it to round 3, all right? I'm going to switch it up now. Maxine, I'm going to ask you the question first. Can you name 3 ways to add color to an outfit?
Shoes, bag, hair.
Too easy. Wow. Nailed it. All right, let me ask you the following. Can you name 3 types of makeup that come in different colors?
Red blush, lipstick, eyeshadow.
This is too easy, man. This is like professional. This is just another day. All right, Kalani, let me ask you the final question around 3. Can you name 3 different, in 5 seconds, can you show us 3 ways to Vogue?
Hands, face, and I'm not duck walking, but...
Sabaje! I love it. And just in time. You guys are doing well. Come on, this is insane. Okay, we've got 2 more rounds coming up. Right. Who's it going to be? Maxine, let me ask you this one. Can you name 3 things that are blue?
The sky, water, and her eyebrow.
That's a
Banana eyebrow.
There's every color in there. Is it blue?
It's a.
Okay, we'll accept that. Yeah, we got the blue. and absolutely lovely as well. All right. Ina, let me ask you the following. Can you name 3 natural hair colors?
Brunette, blonde, and black.
Nice. This is too easy. We need to challenge you guys. All right.
I'm bold. I know what
And then, Kalani, last one to finish this round. Name 3 different lipstick colors.
Pink, orange, black.
Too easy. You girls are nailing it. All right, last one. We've got the final round so far. I think Maxine and Ina, you're on the lead, right? We got 1 point behind.
Oh, wow.
Is it? Oh, no, you actually, sorry. Kalani and Ina are in the lead. Maxine, you need to step it up now. I'm going to ask you the first question here. Right, Maxine, can you name 3 things that you can paint?
Canvas, hall, floor.
Okay, all right. Keeping it standard. I like that. Nailed it. All right. Kalani, let me ask you the following. Can you name 3 words to describe the color red?
Fire, passion, blood.
I'll accept that. I love it. Okay. Final question. Last round. Can you find me, Ina, 3 synonyms for the word and expression yes?
Yes, work. Oh, there's one that I can't say. Sickening.
All right, so unfortunately, you dropped some points. Maxine, you dropped some points earlier. So our winner for the round today is Kalani Khalifa. You won yourself a beautiful Yum Yum Peanut Butter Rusk box, courtesy of everybody else here in the studio. And you can make your house more colorful by bringing home 1,000 Rand in cash and an Omar Rusk hamper. And all you got to do to stand a chance to win is we want to know the following. You want you to share your favorite memory with Omar Rusk. Now you can enter on the competition post on the Expresso, Facebook, or Twitter page and use the hashtag #DipPinkTime. And remember, every entry also guarantees you a spot in the lucky draw to win a Smeg hamper worth 12,000 Rand. Your T's and C's can be found on expressoshop.com. And what I gotta say, nothing but congratulations. Beautifully played. Absolute magic. Enjoy your rusks.
Any time is dipping time when it's with the ones you love.
And I'll make it through love, love at first sight. Get me wrong, get me wrong. We'll make it through love. Had me broken, had me wishing I had never loved before. I give it up till you come knocking. I can't help myself from opening that door. Gambling with my heart, I've been knowing from the start. But each time you change the rules of your play. Too many times I've been deceived. I need a reason to believe. I need more than game to resurrect my faith. Sight at first sight.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, welcome back, beautiful souls. We're still live right here, opening up on S3. It's Expresso show, and we're celebrating Pride Month. It's the beauty of you being you without fear, without holding back. And we've got so much more performances and magic coming through. But before we get into it, let's find out what's happening in the news with Jamie Lee Domberg.
2 minutes before 8 o'clock, time to have a final look at those news headlines. Starting with your national news, the team of geoscientists and mining experts inspecting the stones found in Kwahlathi near Ladysmith in KwaZulu-Natal that were thought to have been diamonds have released a preliminary report stating that the stones are not diamonds but quartz crystals. Last week, people flocked to the area, some even from other provinces, to mine the stones. The team said it found that the site of the informal mining is geographically located on the edge of the Karoo Dolerite Sill, which is not in a zone where diamonds can be found. Staying with your local news as well, the Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality says it's concerned that the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, has rejected all 65,000 objections to the gazetted name changes in the Eastern Cape. The new names were gazetted on the 23rd of February and jettisoned Port Elizabeth for Gqeberha, Uitenhage for Kariga and King Williamstown for Khonse. East London Airport was renamed King Paulo Airport and Port Elizabeth Airport was renamed Chief David Steerman International Airport. And then looking to news further abroad, the Ebola virus outbreak in southeastern Guinea is over. Health Minister Remy Lama and the World Health Organization made the announcement during a virtual media conference in the capital, Conakry. 16 people were infected during the outbreak in February in Nzerekore and 12 people had succumbed. Now, the virus causes severe bleeding and organ failure. And then 3 taikonauts have entered China's space station for a 3-month mission called Shenzhou 12, China's state-owned broadcaster has reported. Now, this makes them the first Chinese to ever reach a space station and the first astronauts to set foot in the new Chinese space station. The trio will now unpack their supplies and also set up internet connections and other equipment. During their stay, they will carry out various experiments, including testing the space station's modular life support capabilities. They'll also conduct spacewalks to test new spacesuits and robot arms. And then next, some exciting news from South Africa's Garden Province. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the highlight on the Durban entertainment calendar, Africa's greatest horse racing event, the famous Durban July, will take place this year. eThekwini Municipality Mayor Mkholisi Kaunda officially launched the event on Saturday at the Eden Champagne Garden in Morningside, Durban. The mayor explained that before the pandemic, the Durban July generated more than 300 million rand towards the city's GDP from local and international visitors. He said the city had made a huge investment, especially in youth mentoring programs in the fashion industry. Kaunda also acknowledged that through partnerships and collaborations with the private sector, the city had maintained its leading host title on the continent. He said they were ready to entertain visitors for the Durban July Grand Experience. He continued, and I quote, "We are very excited about this year's Durban July, but it's always a privilege to host Africa's greatest horse racing event. We have the best horses lined up, including Rainbow Bridge, winner of Cape Town's Met and Hollywood Bets Gold Challenge." Wow, some wonderful news for the world of entertainment. I guess it's safe to say I'll see you at the races, folks. On that note, that is the final wrap-up of your news headlines. Here's a final look at the sports. Here's Ralda Mornay.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Now, to start off the final recap of the magic sport that we had this weekend, we're starting for the cricket, and Rassie van der Duisen, 75, and a career-best score of 40 runs by Kagiso Rabada helped the Proteas recover from 73 for 7 to post a second innings total of 174 runs all out on day 3 of the second test against the West Indies in St. Lucia. Now, the Windies, who need 309 runs to win, finished the day on 15 runs with no wickets taken, and all the cricket action between the West Indies and South Africa will continue today at 4 p.m. Now, moving over to rugby, the Italian club Benetton were crowned Rainbow Cup champions after defeating the Bulls 35-8 at the Stadio Comunale de Mornigo on Saturday. Now, Benetton, led by South African Dewald Tumenake, outplayed the men from Pretoria in Italy as they struggled with poor handling and a wayward kicking game. Now, Marcel Coetzee, who led the Bulls in the absence of the injured Dwayne Vermeulen, said Benetton were deserved winners of the title. And sticking to rugby, it seemed a double heartbreak for the Bulls, who also suffered an opening round loss to Western Province in the Currie Cup. Hooker JJ Coetzee scored 4 tries to guide Western Province to a 48-24 win over the Bulls at Loftus Versfeld. Now, in other opening round results, the Sharks overcame windy conditions in Kimberley to beat the Griquas 30-16 at the Pumas, and the Pumas, who started their campaign on a winning note after recording a 39-10 victory over the Lions in Nelspruit. That's a wrap of the rugby. Moving going over to soccer, the defending champions at the Euro 2021 went down to Germany in their Group F Euro 2020-21 clash on Saturday. Cristiano Ronaldo gave Portugal a 15th minute lead, but Germany went in at the break 2-1 up against the own goals from Ruben Diaz and Rafael Guerreiro. Now the Germans added 2 more goals in the second half to register a memorable 4-2 win in Munich. Now in other Euro 2020 results, France and Hungary drew 1-1 and England and Scotland played out to a goalless draw. Now kicking it up to the world of motorsport, where Red Bull's Max Verstappen took a brilliant race win at the French Grand Prix to extend his lead at the top of the drivers' standings. Now the 23-year-old fought back to pass reigning world champion and Formula One Lewis Hamilton as a record Red Bull's 3rd consecutive win for him. Now Mercedes Hamilton settled for second and Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez finishing that podium spot of 3rd place. And lastly in motorsport, the king of the ring, Marc Marquez, is back to winning ways after claiming his first MotoGP race win since 2019. Now this was the 8-time world champion's 11th straight victory at the Sachsenring at the German Grand Prix. Now the Honda rider held off KTM's Miguel Oliveira in second, and championship leader Fabio Quartararo rounded off the podium positions. Our South African Brad Binder, who started in 13th place, had a memorable finish of 4th in that race. Now that's a final look at all the magic of sport this weekend. Thank you for joining us, and let's find out lastly what's happening in the weather with Jamie Lee Domberg.
Let's have a final look at those weather news. Now, the June solstice, the signal to celebrate winter in the Southern Hemisphere, will happen today and tonight. For us in the Southern Hemisphere, the solstice marks the longest night and also shortest day of the year. Late dawns, short days, early sunsets and long nights. The sun will be at its lowest each day as it crosses the sky. And this, of course, means that all locations south of the equator have days shorter than 12 hours and nights longer than 12 hours. And then, of course, north of the equator, it's vice versa. Ancient cultures knew that the sun's path across the sky, the length of daylight, and the location of the sunrise and sunset all shifted in a regular way throughout the year. They built monuments such as Stonehenge to follow the sun's annual progress. And today, we know that the solstice is an astronomical event caused by Earth's tilt on its axis and its motion in orbit around the sun, and that Earth's northern and southern hemispheres trade places in receiving the sun's light and warmth most directly. And of course, while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning, we report on the weather for the city of Wilmington, North Carolina, which is a port city in North Carolina. The city's most attention-grabbing attraction is the immense battleship North Carolina, a World War II-era warship that is open to tour. As mentioned in our 7 a.m. weather update, Tropical Depression Claudette brought torrential rain which caused flash flooding and tornadoes across Alabama, Louisiana and Georgia. And tropical storm warnings have been issued for Wilmington as well. Residents are urged to plan ahead for hazardous winds, possible storm surges and possible power and communication outages. And then bringing it back to our own shores, we received the following stunning sunrise submissions from our South African-based viewers this morning. And kicking our Monday morning off, this beautiful pink, orange and yellow-filled sky we received from Lemon Stacks LS from Pretoria. And then next we headed to the coast to KZN, where we received this serene morning view from Michael Mason from Durban North. And then at 7 a.m, Louise G. Sherry from Maybury Park in Alberton also shared yet another glorious sunrise photo with us, showing off the sun rays breaking through the cloud cover. And then last but definitely not least, Yolanda Tomlinson from Scottsboro shared this picture taken overlooking the ocean as the sun rises on the horizon, casting hues of orange and yellow across the sky. We always encourage you, but if you would like to share your sunrise photos with us, just head on over to the Expresso Facebook page, and who knows, you might get a young feature. Right now, let's have a final look at the temperatures for today. We start with you, Polokwane. Do expect a low of 4 today that peaks at 19. Umbombela, for you, it is a range of 9 to 24. Pretoria, sunshine coming your way with a minimum of 6, peaking at 19. Johannesburg, 6, 17. Mahikeng, for you, it is 4, 21. And then if you do find yourself in Klerksdorp today, do expect a low of 2 and a high of 20. Kimberley, 5, 20. Bloemfontein comes through with a negative 2, peaking at 20. Richards Bay, 13, 25. Pietermaritzburg ranges from 6 to 26 today. And then Durban coming through with a low of 14. 14 and a high of 25. Umtata, for you, it is 4:26. East London ranges from 18 to 28. Craddock with a low of 6 and a high of 24. And then Gqeberha, for you, it is 16:27. George, 18:27. The mother city, Cape Town, today with a low of 15 and a high of 24. And then Worcester with a minimum of 13, peaking at 26. Sutherland, 7:16. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 12 to 24. That is where I wrap up your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, the weather is looking perfect indeed, and perfect enough to celebrate, because we've got singer, songwriter and performer Lathim, and he's standing by to perform his latest single, At First Sight, as we continue to celebrate Pride Month on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But before we get into the performance, I want to hear from the man himself. Lathim, you're making some headlines, you're doing some incredible things. You've just been awarded something fantastic this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in March I received Contributing Musician of the Year awards at the 2021 Plus Hero Awards. So I was very honored and humbled by that experience.
And so deserve it too. And I mean, we're going to get to hear exactly why from this performance. But if I can ask you, what exactly does the song mean, and what are you trying to express here?
Well, I think, it's a, sort of your typical love song, but it was written in the wake of a failing relationship not too long ago, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity to explore other genres outside of my normal alternative indie roots. And I really wanted to go and explore sort of your Motown 70s funky groove stuff, which is, I come from a community where, we R&B at soul and that sort of thing.
It's
so it's a piece that that was a lot of fun to go through the process of recording it and writing it and experimenting with it. And I'm rather proud of it. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, we cannot wait. Without further ado, here is Lathim. Take it away.
Thank you.
Wasn't enough to stop me from feeling, 'cause I keep finding myself back in love again. Too many times I've been deceived. I need a reason to believe. I need more than game to resurrect my faith. Ooh, love at first sight. Feels so wrong. Love feels so good. We'll make it through. I said, side.
Thank you.
The ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing. Mesmerized. Trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, you beautiful souls, welcome back. We're still live celebrating the most important month. It's Pride Month and it's happening every June. Now we see an increase in the visibility of the rainbow flag as Pride Month is celebrated in the US and increasingly across the world. Now the symbolic celebrations are still in the face of major discrimination against and misunderstanding of the community. So we're taking the opportunity to discuss this morning, and in the midst of Pride Month today, we're asking the question, what is the best way to be an ally to the LGBTQ community? Now, we've got clinical psychologist Asha Dulab alongside Kim Windvogel, who is an activist and compiler of the 2019 book, They Called Me Queer, as well as the writer of the new book, Touch, are here to help us discuss this. And we're taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page, so come through with that. But before we get into that magic, let's chat to the specialist. Asha, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm so excited just to be able to get educated and learn so much more about this ever-growing community that needs to have a huge, huge voice, because they are present among us all, and we're all human beings at the end of the day. So I wanted to ask you, I mean, what is one of the most difficult parts when one comes to the identity of who they are, and especially dealing with that struggle of coming out and being me versus that living in fear, so to speak? I mean, what's really important in terms of being honest in this whole world that we live in?
Sure, I think the ability to speak one's truth is very important, but of course it comes with a lot of fear attached to it. It's a very difficult journey to actually go out and speak one's truth, because it's associated with a sense of feeling of safety, and not all people will feel safe coming out. And the big question many of them ask, well, what will it cost me to actually be truthful?
Yeah.
You know, and one needs to always think of what context they live in, what cultural background, religious background they come from, because that will actually give them perspective of how safe they would feel to come out. But of course, being honest, authentic, speaking your truth is ideal and very much needed.
Yeah, and the polarity of that for me is shocking. Imagine not being able to be yourself and being suppressed and not living a truthful life. Kim, I'd love to hear your input on this because I absolutely love your perspective. Now, most people say LGBT just for the sake of brevity, right? But this encompasses a large group of people with multitudes of identities that, in my opinion, are still being discovered. And the full contemporary acronym is actually LGBTQQIAAP. So, I mean, what is important to note about how much more inclusive this acronym continues to become?
Yeah. Well, I think if you look at the history of the acronym of identities, as you call it, it started off as LGB, which was in the 80s and early 90s as lesbian, gay, and bi. And that was the community's effort in terms of making it a community of people of different identities that can come together and work together and sit with each other in solidarity. Now, it's been about 30 years, more than 30 years since then, and we have evolved so much. People have self-identified as various sexual and gender identities that are not welcomed within the hetero or the straight world outside of our community. So I believe that what's important to note is how inclusive this acronym has become, how welcoming the community is, and how open we are to ever-evolving language and the political landscape, and how we change our language to incorporate more people so that they can self-identify as who they are.
Oh, I absolutely love that, and I love your perspective on things. Maybe, Asha, let me ask you this. I mean, speaking about the acronym itself, I mean, we are aware of some of the more popular terms, if we were to call it that, but let's talk about some of the less identified with or the less known terms. I mean, we're talking about things like questioning, intersex, asexual, pansexual. Can you educate us? I mean, I'm sure Mzansi is dying to know more about this. We want to learn. What does it all mean?
Yeah, I think I personally also want to say, I think the acronym eventually will expand to the whole alphabet one day because we're all evolving with so many variances.
Up until it just turns into human.
All the 26
we all just
exactly letters of the alphabet. But I think that if you look at questioning, that is the person that is still trying to discover who they are. They may be in doubt, they're exploring, they're questioning themselves. The pansexual, pan means all, so this is someone that's open to all sexes, genders in relation to their sexuality. Yeah. And of course you have asexual, that is not actually wanting to engage in any kind of sexual or sensual activity with any one or particular individual. So yes, it's a variety. The intersexual looks at a whole variety. It's an umbrella term that covers a variety of different sexual anatomy and chromosomes and genitalia. That covers just the reproductive system as well. So as you can see, it's a variety, and that's why eventually I say it's evolving, and it's going to include so many variances, and we all just need to sort of get a greater understanding about these.
I think what you're saying is so important. We do need that understanding, and that's exactly why we're here, to unpack some more of this conversation, to educate Mzansi, myself, and everyone included. And you do not want to go anywhere because we will be carrying on this conversation with Kim and Asha a little bit later. We've got 2 more segments coming up. We're going to dive deep into it, but let's start celebrating Pride and continue because Jamie's got some good news for us. Let's check it out.
Oh, I do, and I'm very excited because our next guest is Kirsty Momorelis, a wedding planner and owner of Weddings Out of Africa, who has executed, get this, over 1,200 dream weddings. Now, she specializes in planning same-sex weddings, and she joins us now to talk about her experience in this field. Kirsty, it's so nice to meet you.
It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for including me in the conversation.
I mean, 1,200 weddings, you've seen it all. You've seen the tears, you've seen the drama, but why did you go into this space with same-sex weddings?
My brother's gay, so I was lucky enough very early on to embrace that and realize that love is for everybody. And so even before it became legal in South Africa, I was planning commitment ceremonies, just allowing people to have a day where they could celebrate their love with one another. And so the minute it became legal, wow, that was a big celebration for us. And it was just a natural progression to move into just allowing everybody and anybody to celebrate their love.
So where do you even begin? If a same-sex couple came to you and said, you know what, we're doing this thing, it's a special day, and we want you to be a part of it, because, I mean, that is your part in this. You get to make their dreams come true and live this special day. Where do you then start with the planning and everything?
For me, it is all about the couple. So I am not a cookie cutter wedding planner. I love to get very deeply connected with my couples, my gorgeous couple who you were with a moment
Yes,
ago.
Marlene.
Yes. And so for me, it's a lot more than wedding planning. It's really getting to connect with a couple, to understand what makes their relationship work. Each relationship is unique, and I love that part of it, that every couple is different. And I like to make sure that that translates into the wedding day. So I take what makes the couple happy and put that into their wedding day for them. So that's a really important part for me.
Obviously, a lot of people are not on board, even though in the modern day age, it's safe to say people should get over it because, I mean, this is the new normal. But what are some of the challenges that you still see when it comes to executing, a wedding for a same-sex couple?
You know, I think I'm very lucky that I am in Cape Town, because we know that in Cape Town we are just loving and embracing of everybody. So I think perhaps I'm in a little bit of a pod in Cape Town. The reality is outside of Cape Town, I think it is somewhat different, and we have all heard those stories of wedding venues who have refused same-sex couples. I have had that happen very early on in my planning, and to be quite honest, the minute a venue says, we are not open to same-sex couples, I take them off my list entirely for all my weddings. So from that perspective, there are small challenges, but I can honestly say that over the last 10 years of planning, I haven't even come across one. Oh. It's just really easy. I have an amazing supplier base, and that's probably, in truth, one of, the hidden secrets of what I do, is that I have these amazing suppliers that create the wedding day, and they're all on board, and I know that.
And then when it comes to traditions of the day, what are some of the big differences when it comes to planning a same-sex wedding day versus a heterosexual wedding day?
So it's interesting. So some couples would kind of come to me and say, okay, so what does a same-sex wedding day look like? Because we don't know how this wedding should be. And I'm like, right, well, let's just talk about your relationship and let's build it from there. But what I love is being able to bring in these little elements that really celebrate the couple. So, for example, I've had 2 grooms. We've created 2 aisles. They've each walked down the aisles with their mums. They've met at the ceremony point, and they've then continued with the ceremony. So there's little different moments and little different ways of making it special and unique to them, and those are the parts that I really love.
I have to ask you, what is the most extravagant wedding that you've ever had to curate? Maybe a far-fetched thing or anything?
We've had a few requests. So some people like to get quite out there and dramatic, and we've had to bring cheaters in and allow them to be a part of the wedding day. There's fireworks, there's all sorts of it, and it just depends on what the couple want, and I just make that happen for them.
You make that happen indeed. Of course, everyone needs love and is entitled to love. Thanks so much, Kirsty, for sharing all your knowledge with us this morning. The owner of Weddings Out of Africa, celebrating each unique couple, and we're going to still celebrate more of that here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Moisture Plus, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour intensive moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
alive. We're back. We're still in charge. It's Monday, and we're on the Expresso show, opening up on S3, and we're talking relationships in the midst of our Pride Month. We are asking the question, what is the best way to be an LGBTQ plus ally? And we're back with our clinical psychologist, Asha Dulab, and activist and writer, Kim Windwochel, to unpack this topic. So do weigh in with the questions and comments on our Facebook page, and we might even be answering you. And, let's pick up from where we left off. So, Asha, earlier we were discussing some of the less familiar terms when it comes to this entire movement. More importantly for me, and I think this is maybe something that personally applies as well, what is the process when it comes to being an ally for the community? You know what I mean? What are some of the tips to becoming a good ally? Someone that maybe doesn't necessarily identify with one of the acronyms, but still supports the cause nonetheless. I'm here for the fact that we are human beings and we need to be our own genuine selves. What should we be doing?
Well, it's definitely a message of positive support for this whole group. And the characteristics of a good ally would be someone that listens carefully and with attention to the individual, and also just accepting their story, their narrative, without any judgment, without any discrimination. It takes a person that has good leadership, ability to kind of research and to read a little bit about the acronym and to really become knowledgeable to help and support this group. Very much needed.
Yeah. Now, I think, especially when it comes to the space, you get individuals, let's call them heteronormative, right? I think, would you not say that it's quite important, or what is your opinion when it comes to the importance of listening, like you mentioned now, and also understanding to prevent that issue where it comes to erasure, essentially? I mean, it's quite an important thing not to be dismissive, to acknowledge everybody. How can we improve on that? How can we approach that?
Well, you see, we need to, the whole term of erasure is about discrimination. It's about ignoring, dismissing, re-examining, re-explaining, downplaying these unique groups of people. And it's about raising awareness and having more talks like these where we can actually speak about it and educate so that we gain greater understanding. Yeah. We are a society that's evolving. Generally, as societies, we're not used to anything that's new. We like to be we're comfortable with what's familiar. So anything new, we become reactive. We may just say remarks that, that makes us feel comfortable. So it's about really, it's about discrimination. It's about speaking about the level of, let's accept human beings for who they are, for their authentic, let them just be who they want to be, because everybody's doing what they want to do.
It's so true, and we need to respect that, but I think the learning is so important. And Kim, maybe I can ask you this question, seeing that we still got you on the line. As much progress as has obviously been made, the reality, unfortunately, is that there's still people out there that are misguided or misled. They don't know what's going on, and intentionally they might discriminate, or maybe even the situation where you see people being attacked in the community with words of violence, and that's simply because they just don't believe in this community. What's the damage that's actually being caused by things like homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, and I guess any discrimination against people in the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I don't think it's just a damage. I think it's intersecting damages. So let me try and break this down. I mean, the damage can be medical. Last night on Carte Blanche, we saw Intersex South Africa speaking about how doctors perform legal genital mutilation on intersex infants purely because they believe that they need to fit into the binary of what your sex should look like and within this binary world, right? And so that is one of the damages. It's socioeconomic. Employers refusing to employ someone who's openly queer or who they suspect to be queer. So that means that it's also structural because you can't be employed, you can't pay your rent, and therefore you might be homeless. It's cultural. A queer goes to church, the pastor calls you an abomination of God, and then parents disown you. It's the hate crimes that we see happen every day. Tens of people have been murdered, queer folk have been murdered this year in South Africa. And all of these damages linked together. It's not, one isn't worse than the other. Just the doctor who performs intersex genital mutilation on intersex infants, the parents who disown you, the employer who won't employ you, and the people who murder our community, all of this forms together to form a massive damage to our community. And that's why when Asha said that allies should listen, they shouldn't just listen, they should implement what they are hearing within their spaces. You don't have to be an activist to change people or to change people's behaviors. You should change your own behavior, and you will be able to shift the behavior of other people in their hearts and minds. I'm hoping.
No, I think you don't need to hope. I think what you're saying is so pertinent, so true. You definitely are hitting the nail on the head there when it comes to the fact that we don't need to just change the entire world. We can start with just changing ourselves. And I absolutely love that. Kim, thank you so much. We're not going to finish this chat just yet. We've got some more coming right at you. And we're going to be diving deeper into this discussion. How can you be an ally for the community? And also, how can we get involved to support this beautiful cause? We're diving deeper, answering some of your questions as well. So come through with that. And we'll see you in just a bit.
And of course, as we continue to commemorate and celebrate Pride Month this June, performing artist and drag queen Kat Gilardi will be helping us dance into the brand new week with a rendition of Gloria Estefan's Turn the Beat Around. Now, this pop hit was released in 1994 and is considered one of the 1,000 great songs of all time. Kat Gilardi, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Listen, we've been hearing all about so many artists today and just their story in Pride Month. Tell us about why it's so important for you to do this during this month.
Well, firstly, we need to claim spaces, and that's why I do what I do. And I love the form of drag and cabaret. So I'm here to claim that space and to entertain.
Yes. How long have you been entertaining?
About 11 years. 11 years, yeah. I'm in a group, 3D as well, but I'm doing my solo things now. Solo projects and stuff, yeah.
And of course, Mzansi can't wait to see you perform. Where can they catch you if not here on your Feel Good Breakfast show?
Anywhere. I'm at Crew Bar on the 26th, and then I'm in Somerset at Empire Club in Strand on the 27th.
Kat Gilardi, the floor is yours. Turn the beats.
Thank you.
Around.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is the final conversation of this beautiful segment where we're talking about Pride Month, talking about an ally and, of course, relationships in and amongst the beauty of Pride Month that we celebrate today. And we're asking the question, what's the best way to be an LGBTQ plus ally? And we're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab and our activist and writer Kim Windvogel on the line to unpack this topic. So please weigh in on the conversation, on the questions, and come through on our Facebook page. And Kim, I've got to thank you so much for sharing some of the beauty that you already have this morning. It's so good being educated by you, and again, just inspired, to be honest. Now, when it comes to June, it's a month that we are celebrating. It's celebrated in the US and lately also around the world, and that's obviously us talking about Pride Month, which primarily as a commemoration of the Stonewall riots. You can kind of share or see a lot of what has happened, but can you share some of the significance of these protests, and why is it important that the LGBTQ plus community celebrates Pride?
Yeah. Well, I think that South Africans are no strangers to the importance of protesting and the importance of commemorating these protests and the progress that happened because of them. Just last week, we celebrated Youth Day. The month before that, we had Workers' Day. The month before that, we had Freedom Day. Before that, we had Human Rights Day. I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Yeah. Regardless of your sexual orientation, protesting for progress has always been within the DNA of South Africans. And so I think that's the significance of protesting, and everybody, regardless of your sexual orientation, can understand that. But yeah, so I think these protests are important. They progress where we're at. And then also, I think I wanted to also speak about how we call this June month Pride Month in South Africa. So June month is actually World Pride Month, which is celebrated in the US, and the rest of the world has kind of co-opted that as a way to also stand in solidarity. South African Pride, which I hope Expresso Show will also celebrate this year and every year, actually happens in October, and that's because the first Pride in South Africa happened mid-October in 1990. And so that is why South Africa celebrates Pride in October as a localized version of, World Pride that happens in June. And I think what's important here in terms of the significance of these protests and also of these months is that as much as it is encouraging to see brands and big corporations come on board and try and support the community and the communities that is within this, as we call it, acronym of identity, it's important for brands to do it in a way that is sensitive to the community. If you're going to have a big product that you're going to be selling, or if you're going to be taking part in, as they call it, #rainbow capitalism, do it in a way where you pay queers to be a part of your campaigns, where they are the people behind the camera, in front of the camera. Make sure that your workplace is inclusive and non-discriminative of the community. Don't just put a flag on your brand and expect us to, to flock to what you're selling us, what you were trying to or the environment that you're trying to create. Fix your house first before you come and invite the community to spend money at your organization or at your business. And I think that's very important when it comes to celebrating things such as Pride Month.
Kim, I loved how you just wrapped that up, and such a beautiful way to say that. We shouldn't just be talking about it. We should be questioning big brands, especially to say, what are you doing? Thank you. I love that. Now, I should just to get into the last bit of the segment, because learning is important. Obviously, it's something that is so essential to this entire sort of process becoming the norm, which it should be. Is there somewhat of a burden on the community when it comes to expressing, explaining, talking about this, or is there something more that can be done? And how can we prevent this burden from taking a real toll? I mean, constantly having to explain who you are yourself every day, it can get much, right?
it can get much, but I think it is important to explain because we're needing more understanding. Remember, it's really a tough journey for this community because they are suffering a lot of fear, shame, guilt, the hatred. So the more explanation, the greater understanding. Remember, it's also a process of isolation in oneself, within societies and the nation. So I think that with more greater awareness, it's just the way we represent the whole topic and talk about it.
Asha, I mean, every now and then I'm surprised, but today I'm impressed. I can't thank you enough for educating me, for teaching me about what this whole beautiful community is about, how we are all at the end of the day just human beings. And I think that's the message that you need to take home, Mzansi. It's everybody's responsibility to appreciate and respect everyone as a human being. As long as they're living their life and being proud about it, why should we discriminate? Why should we say anything less? Here's to pride, here's to you being you, and here's to us celebrating our true ethnic authenticity and our unique self, and that's us.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
Be you, do you, celebrate you. And if you're looking for a delicately sweet yet elegant dessert, then look no further than our Clover Bliss Black Forest and Blueberry Clafoutou. It's a French classique that's easy to make and ready within minutes. You're going to be taking us through the desserts today.
Oh, absolutely, darling. This is delicious. And this is a blank canvas. This is what I love. So I'm going to give you this bowl that I've sterilized the rims. I'm going to give you the whisk that has been sterilized. And we start beating, baby.
Beat it. And we have an entertainer watching me on the side of on my right here, wanting to come in because clearly she is hungry. She needs to be fed. Come on, honey. Yes.
This is very inappropriate. You're welcome.
Inappropriate. You're going to be helping us with this classic this morning. Can you cook?
I burnt my strainer the other day. Does that count?
Definitely. The only thing you know how to bake is your face, but don't worry, Jenny Morris is going to be showing us how. So we are beating it.
Can you multitask? Well, you're a girl. So can you do this? Can you beat and
you're doing it.
Do it.
It's all about you.
Go, 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 go.
I almost said something.
Well, don't you do that. That will be very inappropriate.
Don't do that. So we have the milk going in now.
Just a little bit, because I'm working backwards. There we go. And now we're going to put some salt in it, and we're going to now go a little bit of milk, a little bit of flour. You go that side with the milk, darling. I'll go with the flour.
And beat it.
And
teamwork is making the dream
work. You know
work.
what's nice about this clafouti is that...
Clavier?
Yeah, clavier. That it's very, very... It's very, very... you can have it for breakfast because it's like a pancake and a waffle mix. So you can have dessert, at any time of day. Just, darling, beat it, and with a little bit of attitude. Even at my age, I can even do it. That's my girl.
Serving
you go, girl.
Which camera?
Number one is your camera. There we go.
And then we're going to put some Clover Bliss in here. You could use, look at this. This is the lovely Black Forest. So, I mean, clafouti normally is like a cherry dessert. Can you open this for me?
I can certainly.
There we go. No, you must work for it because you're going to taste.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to taste
I never said work it. I said work for it.
I love how with everything, you're just serving face. Like if this was an advert for... You're just like, here.
Thank you, darling. And now let's get this in. What this does is it makes the batter lovely and light and creamy, and it just gives it a glorious, glorious texture. And now, darling, we're going to pour it into the bowl.
You have the job of pouring it in.
It'll sort itself out.
It'll sort itself. So it will...
No, you must point it to the camera. You've got to, do this. You can dance, we can cook. Go.
There you go. And still serve
at
face,
that,
still serve
baby.
face.
That's it.
More. We want more,
Out
darling.
Oh, look, you got blueberry lips. I'm loving it. Look at you, sweetheart. Yes, now don't you dare double dip because I'll have to smack you. You're very inappropriate. And now we just pop these blue. Oh, he's also... I'm looking at that dog collar. Smack me, he says.
Oh, wow. So we're putting this straight into the mixture like this?
This goes straight into the mixture and it goes into the oven. And I love it because these blueberries just get beautifully suspended. You could use cherries, you could use apples, whatever's in season. And then you just pop it into the oven. You bring it out and eat it with lots and lots of ice cream or cream with those blue eyes. I'm telling you. And those legs.
You want to smell it?
Look.
Ooh.
My God, get this out of the way.
Take
Naughty
the food out of the table. And you said how long in the oven?
About 35 minutes. It's a batter.
Okay.
So it needs a chance to really cook. And if you don't have an oven, you can actually do this in a frying pan.
Look at that.
Absolutely. A nice low heat with a pan lid on it to steam it. You're very pretty, you know that.
I'm beautiful, not pretty.
No, you're pretty
Pretty's for
gorgeous.
girls.
Yes.
You're not a girl?
Inappropriate. The proof is now in the pudding. Do you think that we should get Maxine and King Kalani in to taste it?
Ja, hulle lyk te jong.
They're a little bit hungry. They even came with their own plates, everybody. They came with their plates,
All right, now I need
ready
some
to try.
I need some social
There we go.
distancing here.
They are going to
girls.
try.
Ooh. Just look
Get
at this.
in there.
This does not look absolutely exquisite.
Stunning.
So you've got a fork. Okay, you can fork it. You take off what you want, and then you can fork it, and you take off what you want, and I'm going to spoon you, darling.
Ooh.
Okay, so take, and then you stand back and eat.
Okay.
Jenny, you're going to be part of the trio after this. You're going to be part of this because you are making...
Look at that. Doesn't that look just yumptious and
yummy.
scrumptious? Okay, darling, now you stand back for Mama. There you go, with a little bit of attitude, sweetheart. Now get into the... You can have the whole piece. You're a big girl, go.
Expressoshow.com is where you can find your hands on the recipe ingredients list. And now, you said you're going to spoon him.
Yeah, I'm
There
not
we
going
go.
to spoon him.
What is that?
There we
Small little chips.
And taste it, yes, and serve the
Jamie,
face, serve face.
And I'm going to just jump into the clover bliss because I love it. Jamie, you have to try it, my nunny.
Clearly, Iconic is enjoying this. And if
Honey,
you...
this is
ooh,
everything.
ooh.
Take it.
Take it. If you missed out on any of these steps while we are serving face, here is a quick recap.
1, 2, 3. That's it.
Made with love by Clover.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
if a cozy winter blanket brings a glow to your face, it's a lifesaver for children and families in need. So partner with us and Game to help Gift of the Givers and the Homestead Project for Street Children wrap a new blanket around every cold set of shoulders that we can. Donate to any new blanket in collection boxes at select Game stores nationwide up until the end of June. And obviously with COVID-19 regulations meaning only new ones are accepted, each blanket is going to be a treasure to someone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Oh, you are in for a treat right now. We've got multi-talented performing artist Odie Diva and the band Funk It Down, and they're going to be taking to the studio floor to cover the popular Shake Your Groove Thing by the disco duo Peaches and Herb. Now, this well-loved dance track from the 70s reached the top 10 in countries all over the world. And now this morning, we are going to hear from Odie Diva and the rendition of the track with band members Lorenzo, Luigi, Shane, and Gio. Now, Odie Diva and Funky Town are about to take it away. Where is she?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the African Queen, Odie Diva. Here we go, come on.
There's nothing more that I'd like to do than take the floor and dance with you. Keep dancing, let's keep dancing. Come on. Shake it, shake it. Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, yeah, yeah. Show 'em how you do now. Shake your groove thing, yeah, yeah. Show 'em how you do now. Shake the world you can dance. Good enough to stretch like that. Give us a chance. We can walk right on the floor. Shake it high, or shake it low. Take our bodies where we wanna go. Feel the beat, step forward. Up the bodies and music is right now. Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, yeah. Shake your groove thing, yeah, yeah. Show 'em how you do it now. Shake your groove thing, yeah. Shake your groove thing. Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, Ladies and gentlemen, Odie Diva with Funky Town. Yes, sir. Oh, I feel it. Sucky, sucky now. It was the 21st of September. Oh, that day I always remember. 'Cause that was the day. And Odie Diva and Funky has arrived.
Whether you're saying thank you or we believe in you, nothing says it quite like a home-cooked favorite. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.